Chapter 798. To be honest, the old man's actions were a little unfair. However, no one could say anything. This was the advantage of a sect. An ordinary person like you wanted to reason with them. Sorry, there was no way. Did you all hear that? Those who are over 20 years old leave now. The old man waved his hand, and a strong pressure pressed down. The group of people below all turned pale in the face of such pressure. This pressure was really unstoppable. However, only Wang Zhong walked out one step at a time. Among so many people, Wang Zhong was the only one who was able to withstand the pressure and walk forward. This caused many people to focus their gazes. Feeling the group's gaze, Wang Zhong's expression changed. He walked to the front and stood not far away from the old man. The old man was a little surprised, and a playful look appeared on his face. He was thinking about Wang Zhong's intention this time. Was he trying to get his attention? Or was he trying to reason with him? Kid, I see that you're not young anymore. Are you 20 years old? The old man asked. His voice was so loud that everyone heard it. Wang Zhong bowed slightly and introduced himself. After introducing his name and age, Wang Zhong continued. Although I'm 20 years old, I'm confident that my talent is not inferior to anyone. Therefore, I'd like to ask the elder to consider carefully. The old man frowned. To be honest, they judged people based on their appearance. Wang Zhong really couldn't tell anything from his appearance. However, at this moment, Wang Zhong released a little of his strength. So strong! Feeling the strength in Wang Zhong's body, he was stunned. With such strong strength, he was at least a peak martial warrior. A peak martial warrior at 20 years old was not a genius, but a genius among geniuses. Even the top few inner disciples of the sect were not as good as him. For a moment, the Wenqing sect elder's heart was in turmoil. At the same time, he was very excited. How many years had it been since a heaven-defying monster had appeared in the Azure-seeking sect? Initially, he did not have high hopes for this year's batch. Who would have thought that a monster would appear on his own? Unknowingly, the old man didn't know what to say. He wanted to excitedly recruit Wang Zhong into the sect, but there were so many people watching. What if they saw Wang Zhong's extraordinary talent and targeted him? Although the Azure-seeking sect was incomparably huge, there was actually a lot of pressure behind it. If a genius with heaven-defying talent appeared, it was very likely that he would be assassinated. Normally, when it came to such geniuses, the various sects would hide them until they had the ability to protect themselves. Only then would they let outsiders know. Wang Zhong didn't think much about it. He was just curious. Why didn't the old man say anything? Cough, cough. Senior, what's wrong? Wang Zhong asked. Cough, cough. Elder Wenqing coughed a few times to hide his embarrassment. Then he pretended to be calm and said, Well, your talent is not bad. How about this? I take back what I said just now. Those who are over 21 years old leave. Many people in their 20s heaved a sigh of relief when they heard this. Just like that, Wang Zhong successfully entered the Azure-seeking sect. What surprised the outside world was that after the Azure-seeking sect's recruitment, they brought the disciples up the mountain. Wang Zhong was brought by the old man to the sect master's place. Kid, I'm the grand elder of the Azure-seeking sect, Wei Xian. You're so strong at such a young age. Did you really learn it yourself? Wei Xian asked as they flew. That's right. Wang Zhong answered casually. He had indeed learned it himself, but the skill he used was special. Of course, regarding the matter of the cultivation method, he naturally would not reveal it to anyone. Good. You should know that there aren't many people as young as you in this world. I know. Wang Zhong nodded silently. That's why I came to the Azure-seeking sect. I'll study hard and hope to become as strong as you in the future. Wang Zhong's casual flattery made Wei Xian very happy. He sped up a lot. As he ran, he took out a communication token. Sect Master, I've found a treasure. A 20-year-old martial warrior at the peak. I'll definitely help him enter the martial master realm this year. Bring it over quickly. The sect leader replied on the communication board. Wang Zhong naturally didn't know about the communication between the two. He was just sighing. Indeed, only by showing his talent could he be valued by the Azure-seeking sect. In order to achieve his goal quickly, he had to do this to raise his status in the Azure-seeking sect. When they arrived at the top of the mountain, the spiritual energy here was dense. Clouds and mist lingered around it, making it look like a paradise. Looking ahead, there was a large hall erected in front of them. There were a few words written on it. Azure-seeking sect hall. Wei Xian said, "Let's go in. The sect master has been waiting for you for a long time." After entering the Azure-seeking sect, the sect master, asking God, had his hands behind his back. Sensing Wei Xian and Wang Zhong's arrival, he turned his head to look at them. Asking God looked to be in his 60s or 70s. He was wearing a white robe. There was a sense of vicissitudes between his brows. His eyes seemed to be able to see through the mortal world and see through everything. Therefore, when Wang Zhong came in, he looked at him with a serious gaze. What he saw made him feel a little strange. Because he realized that he couldn't see through Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong didn't give him the feeling that he was a young man, but a person who had lived for a long time. "Greetings, sect master. This is Chen Ping, the person I told you about," Wei Xian said. "Chen Ping?" Asking God stared at Wang Zhong and nodded silently. "Greetings, sect master," Wang Zhong also said. Asking God nodded slightly and said to Wei Xian, "Elder Wei, you can go back first. I'll talk to Chen Ping." "Yes, sect master." After Wei Xian left, Asking God took Wang Zhong to the back garden at the back door. He casually asked about the situation of Wang Zhong's family. Wang Zhong told him everything in detail. He didn't hide anything at all. The main reason was that Wang Zhong was on a mission. Asking God was such a big sect, so there must be a way to find out about his background. If he talked nonsense, he would definitely be suspected. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, there was no need to lie. Besides, lying was meaningless. "I didn't expect you to experience such a disaster in the Su family." After listening to Wang Zhong's story, Asking God looked solemn. The Su family was not powerful, so Asking God naturally didn't know about it. However, he knew about Su lying. Back then, the Tianshan sect was at its peak. In particular, there was a talented woman in the sect, who was Su lying. "I didn't expect you to be from the Su family." After Su lying went missing, the Su family changed so much. "Yes, I was locked up in the dungeon for many years. Fortunately, their guards were lax, so I was able to escape." "Well, I'm afraid it's not that their guards are lax, but that your strength has reached a certain level." Asking God analyzed for Wang Zhong. He felt that Wang Zhong awakened his talent after being humiliated. In fact, his guess was similar to what happened to Wang Zhong. The difference was that he thought that Wang Zhong could cultivate so fast because of his talent, but in fact it was because of his powerful cultivation method. "So you came here this time to find your sister, Su lying?" Asking God guessed. Wang Zhong nodded. "Sect master, I'd like to know why Su lying suddenly disappeared. This matter is related to the current royal family. With your current strength, it's better for you to pretend that you don't know. In addition, don't tell anyone that you are Su lying's brother. Otherwise it's easy to get you killed." "Got it." Wang Zhong secretly rejoiced. Since the sect master said this to him, it also showed that he had no malice. If it were someone else, they would probably be wary of him. "Next you will cultivate on Mount Qi. That is a place where only my personal disciples can cultivate. Work hard, understand?" Wang Zhong was a little flattered. He didn't expect that he would be in such a high position as soon as he came here. He was directly allowed to cultivate on a mountain where only personal disciples could cultivate. What did this mean? Was it love? Was it responsibility? Was it care? No, it was none of those. It was importance. It was obvious that his talent had been recognized at the moment. Next, it would depend on his character and loyalty. "Thank you for your kindness, sect master," Wang Zhong said respectfully. "It's okay, but if the outside world asks, you can't reveal any of your strength, understand?" "Got it. Well, next, let me introduce you to the situation here." To be able to be introduced by the sect master personally, this honor was probably enough to scare people to death. At this moment, Wang Zhong was filled with emotion. His heart was filled with gratitude towards asking gods. After walking around, Wang Zhong more or less understood the situation here. After that, asking God took out a ring. This is a space ring. There is a space inside. If you have any natural treasures, you can put them in. Alright, I have already put some natural treasures in here. Use them well in the future and strive to become a martial master as soon as possible. Sect master. Wang Zhong was stunned again. They had only known each other for a short time, and the sect master had actually given him such a reward. He wasn't someone who didn't know what was good for him. He immediately said, "Sect master, you gave me so many good things directly. You actually trust me so much." Asking God smiled and said, "Your talent is the best I have ever seen. In time, you will definitely become a martial grandmaster. Which faction would send a talented person like you to be a spy?" Wang Zhong understood and thought to himself, "That's right. However, although your talent is good, you must understand that you cannot bully the weak or bully others. If I find out, I will kick you out of the sect." Disciple understands. In the following days, Wang Zhong had been cultivating on his own mountain. To be honest, the competition between the disciples of Seeking Green sect was very fierce, especially the monthly competition. Only those who improved would be able to get good cultivation resources next month. Otherwise, everything depended on oneself. However, for Wang Zhong, he didn't have so many burdens. The reason was very simple. His cultivation resources were given by the sect master personally. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Feeling that his strength was quite stable, Wang Zhong thought about going to other places in the sect to understand the situation of the disciples. In addition, he was also preparing to go out and find Su Liying. However, he couldn't leave the sect right now. In the words of the sect master, asking God, it was very chaotic outside. In order to make the sects obey, the royal family had been suppressing them all these years. A few years ago, the Heavenly Mountain sect was destroyed because the royal family wanted to kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Wang Zhong naturally remembered asking God's words in his heart. So he left his mountain and went to the main peak. The main peak had the most people. They were all cultivating disciples. Walking on the path of the main peak, there were many disciples walking in groups of 3 to 5. "Senior brother Lin, please enlighten me." "Ha ha ha, I'll enlighten you. Come on, let's fight." Some people were exchanging pointers, while others were discussing their cultivation experiences. "Senior Sister Chu, do you think cultivation methods came first or cultivators came first?" "I think cultivation methods came first. After all, without cultivation methods, how can there be cultivators?" "Junior Sister, cultivation methods come first. Course there are people first. But how can people cultivate without cultivation methods?" "Senior Sister, I don't think you're right." "'Kay, you're right. You're all right." Looking at the harmonious scene, Wang Zhong was filled with emotions. If Su Liying was here, it would be great. She would be surprised to see how powerful he was. Just as he was thinking about this, several burly men suddenly walked towards him. It was obvious that they had a high status here. Because along the way, many junior brothers and sisters lowered their heads and greeted them. Wang Zhong didn't pay much attention to them, but he didn't expect the 4 strong men to arrive in front of Wang Zhong. "You're the new disciple of Qi Mountain, Chen Ping?" The leader of the group was the tallest. He crossed his arms and stared coldly at Wang Zhong. "Yes, senior brother. How can I help you?" "Nothing. I just want to exchange pointers with you." "Ah. Come on. Wait, I don't know your name." "Sect leader's personal disciple, Situ Anan." Actually, when Situ Anan spoke, The surrounding people had already recognized this arrogant man. It's actually Situ Anan. This person is in big trouble. But who is he? Didn't you hear what senior brother Situ said? He seems to be a disciple of Chi Mountain. If he's from Chi Mountain, then isn't he also a personal disciple of the sect leader? That must be it. There are a total of 9 personal disciples of the sect leader. I heard that recently someone moved into Chi Mountain. It's a pity that no one has seen him before. Tsk. He's actually the new personal disciple of the sect leader. He must be very capable. While the others were talking, Wang Zhong understood more or less. He cupped his hands and said, "So it's senior brother Situ. According to the rules of the sect, we can exchange pointers. Come on." All right. Wang Zhong had no choice but to agree. The battle soon began. Situ Anan started with a killing move. Wang Zhong frowned. They were all from the same sect, but this guy actually used a killing move. However, his opponent's strength was obviously weaker than his. The reason was simple. After a few days of cultivation, he had already entered the martial master realm. Although he had the strength to crush his opponent, Wang Zhong did not have the intention to kill him because they were from the same sect. After a few moves, Situ Anan finally realized that something was wrong. His moves were easily countered by his opponent. On the other hand, his opponent was still fighting with ease. So he was still holding back. "Thank you for letting me win." Finally, after a few moves, Wang Zhong took a few steps back, indicating that he did not want to continue fighting. "You're very powerful. I admit defeat." Situ Anan suddenly smiled. Someone in the crowd was puzzled. Isn't senior brother Situ's temper quite good? Why is he suddenly looking for trouble with this junior brother? Who knows? Chapter 799. Wang Zhong naturally heard the words of the surrounding disciples and felt very strange in his heart. Previously, he actually went down the mountain once. That time was the same as this time. He went out in a low-key manner. What he saw and heard were all from some disciples. This Situ Anan's temper was very good. Whoever wanted to consult him, he would not refuse. But now, why was his temper like this? It was really puzzling. Situ Anan did not say a word and quickly left this place. Not long later, many people came up to greet Wang Zhong to show their closeness. In the evening, Wang Zhong prepared to go back and cook something to eat. Although he was a direct disciple, in order to nurture the ability of the disciples to be independent, he had to take care of his basic necessities. On the way back in a garden, he saw a group of people surrounding a female disciple and talking. "Yi Fian, what did I tell you a few days ago? Where are the pills and silver that I asked you to show filial piety? Quickly take them out." The leader of this group of people was a handsome man. At first glance, Wang Zhong felt that he was somewhat familiar. Thinking carefully, he really did know him. He remembered that when he went to pay a visit to the sect leader, this man was beside the sect leader. Suddenly, Wang Zhong's eyes flashed and he remembered. Isn't this eldest senior brother, Chen Jian? Chen Jian, the sect leader's direct disciple. His strength was very tyrannical. Not only that, Chen Jian's reputation in the sect was also very high. It was said that many girls were infatuated with him. However, this person was a sword fanatic. He wholeheartedly cultivated the sword and did not care about worldly affairs. But now, it seemed that he was actually extorting from his fellow disciples. Wang Zhong instantly exploded in anger. "Woo-woo, eldest senior brother, I don't have any pills. Please let me go." "Woo-woo." Yi Fian cried like a pear blossom in the rain. Sitting on a piece of mud, the mud had dirted her white dress. It looked very distressing. The few people by the side were all sneering. A little fatty pushed Yi Fian's head and coldly snorted. "Hurry up. If you make eldest senior brother unhappy, I'll draw a turtle on your face." "That's right. I'll let you see the cruelty of us brothers." "No, I don't want to see such cruelty." Yi Fian couldn't stop crying. I really don't have any more pills. I don't have any money either. My family is very poor. Please let me go. You refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Chen Jian frowned and was about to draw his sword. He was trying to kill someone. Wang Zhong immediately rushed over and stood in front of Yi Fian. Senior brother Chen, what are you trying to do? Wang Zhong accused. Why would I, Chen Jian, need to explain my actions to you? Chen Jian lowered his head and said while holding his sword. As the eldest senior brother of the sect, is this how you bully your fellow disciples? I didn't expect you to be such a big senior brother. Wang Zhong shook his head, feeling very disappointed. To think that he had thought that the eldest senior brother of the sect was so good. Who would have thought that he was such a person? Bah! Hey, who are you? Hurry up and get out of the way. Don't ruin eldest senior brother's plans. The fatty from before reprimanded. I remember now. You're the newcomer. You're the Qi Shan Peak disciple, right? The sect master's new personal disciple, someone said. That's even better. Listen up, this is eldest senior brother. We're in the middle of something now. Leave properly and eldest senior brother won't make things difficult for you. Otherwise, who knows? The surrounding people were obviously on eldest senior brother's side. One after another, they were extremely rude and unreasonable. Chen Jian's head was still lowered as if the matter had nothing to do with him. That made Wang Zhong even angrier. Is this guy looking down on me or what? Not only is he bullying me, he's even acting as if he's awesome and I'm right while you're wrong. Eldest senior brother, I didn't expect you to be such a person. Wang Zhong snorted coldly. Chen Jian's body was trembling. He seemed to be angry. After a long time he finally spoke. You don't have to care about my matters. Go away. When Wang Zhong heard this, he almost thought that it was a fake recital. At this time, Wang Zhong realized that something was wrong because Chen Jian didn't look like the kind of person who often bullied others. Although it was strange, the matter had indeed happened. As for Chen Jian, he had already pulled out his sword and pointed it at Wang Zhong. Stop talking, let's fight. You dare to stop me from bullying others, this is your end. As soon as his words fell, without waiting for Wang Zhong to speak, Chen Jian rushed over with a gloomy face. This person is crazy. Wang Zhong now felt that this was the first time Chen Jian bullied others. Because his tone was wrong. Who would say something like, dare to stop me from bullying others during a fight? With doubts in his heart, Wang Zhong sucked the sword of a disciple beside him and raised it to block. When Wang Zhong raised his sword, Chen Jian's eyes lit up. He seemed to have seen a magical treasure and laughed 3 times at Wang Zhong. Good, let's fight. What a lunatic. Wang Zhong could feel the continuous battle intent on Chen Jian's body. This battle intent was not something that an ordinary person could have. Only someone who really likes swords would have it. Unfortunately, Chen Jian, who was very strong to others, was too weak to Wang Zhong. This was the difference in level, nothing else. Chen Jian's sword intent was indeed very strong, terrifyingly strong, but in terms of realm and comprehension of cultivation methods, it was too weak. In the blink of an eye, Chen Jian was exhausted. In the end, Wang Zhong slapped him with the back of his sword and he was directly sent flying, landing on the ground and vomiting blood. However, Chen Jian was beaten to such a state, but he still laughed loudly. Good. I haven't played with the sword so freely in a long time. Continue. Puff. Large mouthfuls of blood spurted out again. Chen Jian was completely exhausted. With a plop, Chen Jian fell backward and fell to the ground. Eldest senior brother. The others hurried to help him. Wang Zhong walked to Yi Fian's side and helped her up. Are you okay? Yi Fian shook her head slightly and cried. Thank you. If it weren't for you I would have. As she said that, Yi Fian cried directly. She lay on Wang Zhong's shoulder and cried very sadly. Wang Zhong sighed and comforted her. Don't cry. Senior brother, can you send me back? I'm afraid that eldest senior brother will take revenge. Since the girl had said so, what else could Wang Zhong say? He nodded and said, all right then. Then he got up and left with Yi Fian. What Wang Zhong did not know was that when they were leaving, on a mountain peak not far away, the sect leader was leading a group of Sikh Azure sect's higher-ups to observe the situation here. After seeing Wang Zhong leave, the sect leader sighed and said, so far 2 rounds of the test have passed. Situ Anand's performance just now was not bad. Who would have thought that an honest person like him would be able to act so ruthlessly? Not bad, not bad. An elder at the side said with a smile. It's a pity that Chen Jian's acting is too bad. He can't even bully a girl. In the end, he actually competed with his sword skills. What a sword maniac. Grand Elder Wei Xian said with dissatisfaction. Speaking of which, didn't you take a liking to him because he's a sword maniac? Back then, you even begged to take him as your disciple. A female elder at the side could not stand Wei Xian's acting and mocked him. Wei Xian had an awkward expression on his face as he explained. Cultivation is one thing. Aren't we talking about daily life? I also want Chen Jian to interact with the disciples more often. Don't be unable to even pretend to bully others. Don't talk about it anymore. Next, there are 2 more tests waiting for Wang Zhong. If he can pass them, then we can proceed to the next step. Ask God said calmly. If you want to become the next sect leader, you have to pass these tests. The elders nodded slightly. After learning about Wang Zhong's extraordinary talent, the sect leader intended to pass the position of the next sect leader to Wang Zhong. However, although Wang Zhong's talent was good, no one knew what his character was like. If he had a bad character and a bad attitude, wouldn't it be a disgrace to ask Green Sect? As a result, the elders came up with this test. There were a total of 4 tests. First, whether the person was easily angered. They sent Situ Anan to provoke Wang Zhong. Fortunately, Wang Zhong remained calm under Situ Anan's provocation, which made them very satisfied. The second test was whether the person had a sense of justice and was fearful of power. They sent eldest senior brother Chen Jian to lead a group of people to bully Yi Fian. In the eyes of the disciples, eldest senior brother Chen Jian was very powerful and ordinary disciples did not dare to offend him. Fortunately, Wang Zhong stood out bravely and stood up for Yi Fian. This made the elders very happy. The third test was much harder. At this moment, the elders were secretly frowning, wondering if the sect leader had gone overboard. After all, the next test was really difficult. Not too long ago, several of his direct disciples had failed to pass the examination. Even Chen Jian had knelt down in the final stage. Now could Wang Zhong pass? They had a big question mark in their hearts. At this moment, Wang Zhong and Yi Fian had already gone to a mountain peak. This mountain peak was slightly shorter than Wang Zhong's, and the spiritual qi was much weaker. However, Yi Fian's place was neat and tidy. Now she was a good girl who liked to do housework. Senior brother Chen, have a seat. My place is small, don't mind. Yi Fian attentively brought out a small stool for Wang Zhong and invited Wang Zhong to sit down. Wang Zhong sat down and smiled. Don't be so polite. Since I've sent you here, I'll take my leave. If you encounter any difficulties in the future, feel free to tell me. Wang Zhong had always felt that as fellow disciples, it was natural for them to love and help each other. Yi Fian said gratefully, "Thank you, senior brother Chen. You're so good to me." Yi Fian's eyes were watery as she looked at Wang Zhong expectantly. This made Wang Zhong sigh. This was another woman who could bring disaster to the country. Don't call me senior brother Chen. Speaking of which, I joined the sect later than you. Wang Zhong sighed. Yi Fian held Wang Zhong's hand and lowered her head. Senior brother Chen, although you joined the sect later, your talent is amazing. In my opinion, you're better than me, so you're my senior brother. At this moment, Yi Fian's words were a little too ambiguous. Especially when she was so close to him, this made Wang Zhong feel strange. He retreated a little and said, "All right, you rest well. I still have some matters to attend to, so I'll be leaving first. Senior brother Chen, wait. Suddenly, Yi Fian pulled Wang Zhong and said excitedly, Senior brother, you saved Fian today, and Fian has nothing to repay you with. Hey, I'll be yours from now on, you. Come on. As soon as he finished, Yi Fian was very proactive. Her white dress actually flew up into the air. This was too fast. Wang Zhong was caught off guard. Yi Fian's fair cheeks were frighteningly red as she said embarrassedly, Senior brother Chen, let's go to my room and discuss cultivation techniques. What do you think? This was no longer a hint, but a blatant declaration. Seeing that Yi Fian had pulled him over, Wang Zhong sighed. Sigh, don't be like this. Come on. Yi Fian, don't be like this. Come on, I really like you. Yi Fian was incomparably proactive as she pounced on him. Her beautiful body was like a spirit snake as she slithered up. Buzz buzz. Suddenly, Wang Zhong shook her off slightly and said with a frown, I still have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. With that, Wang Zhong turned around and left. Senior brother Chen, do you hate me? Yi Fian stopped Wang Zhong and couldn't help but shout. Wang Zhong paused and shook his head. Of course I don't hate you. It's just that we just met and you're already like this. It really makes me ashamed. I'll be leaving first. Wang Zhong shook his head. Admittedly, this Yi Fian was indeed very beautiful. Whether it was her figure or her face, they were all top-notch. If she was placed in a modern club, she would definitely have the most people. However, he still had to find Su Lying next, so he naturally didn't want to have anything to do with other women. Moreover, he had experienced many lifetimes. When facing girls, his heart was already as calm as still water. Naturally, he could leave without hesitation. Looking at Wang Zhong's back, Yi Fian was stunned. In this world, there is actually such a man. It's really surprising. At this time, asking gods and many elders flew down. Yi Fian put on her white dress and walked out. She said respectfully, Disciple Yi Fian greets sect leader. Fian, you did well. Your acting is much better than your senior brother Chen Jian. Grand Elder Wei Xian said. Chen Jian had already come over. He lowered his head in shame and said, Disciple bully. I really can't bully. Yi Fian laughed and said, Senior brother, when you bullied me just now, you almost made me laugh to death. Chen Jian's face turned red. In the future, don't make me do such things. Isn't this to test Chen Ping? Grand Elder was speechless. But fortunately he passed the test. Yi Fian nodded and said, Yeah, I really didn't expect it. He didn't even look at me. Next, there's only one test left. I hope Chen Ping can pass smoothly. Asking gods looked up at the moon. Next, it was the most important moment. In the imperial city, the suppression of their sects was getting stronger and stronger. He had a premonition that something big was going to happen soon. He had to find someone to replace him in advance. And this person was Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong's talent was the best he had ever seen. Now, as long as his character passed, then he would be the next sect leader in the future. Let's go and see if Chen Ping can pass the next test. Asking gods took a step forward and disappeared in the next moment. The rest of the people followed him. Chapter 800. I didn't expect Yi Fian to be so proactive. Walking on the road, Wang Zhong was still thinking about Yi Fian's figure just now. To be honest, it was really great. Unfortunately, the timing was not right. Moreover, he would try his best not to touch someone he had no feelings for. In the future, I must persuade Yi Fian. How can she be like this at such a young age? It's not good for a girl to be like this. Wang Zhong thought as he walked. He was going to return to the mountain peak to get something to eat. When he was halfway there, a black-clothed figure suddenly flashed in front of him. Who are you? Wang Zhong's expression changed. A man in black suddenly appeared in the dark. He was definitely not a good person. The man in black seemed to be looking for Wang Zhong. He suddenly appeared in front of Wang Zhong. The new direct disciple of Wenqing sect is indeed worthy of your reputation. You can actually see my whereabouts. The one who spoke was obviously an old man. His voice was hoarse and his body was surging with strength. He was obviously an expert among experts. If Wang Zhong's guess was right, this person must be a martial master expert. Why would such an expert break into Wenqing sect in the middle of the night? At this moment, Wang Zhong was speechless. King appeared in front of me. It's not strange that I can see your whereabouts, right? Who are you? You broke into Wenqing sect in the middle of the night. Aren't you afraid that Wenqing sect will deal with you? The old man said, I came here tonight to find you. Find me. Wang Zhong frowned. He felt that things were not simple. He had just come out for a stroll. Why did he encounter so many problems? Yes, I know you just came to Wenqing sect. Your talent is amazing. How about you be my spy? Wang Zhong was just about to refuse when the old man waved his hand. Don't be in such a hurry to refuse. Look at what this is. As soon as he finished speaking, an item appeared in the old man's hand. It was a black iron sword glowing with a green light. Just by looking at its appearance, Wang Zhong could tell that this sword was not simple. The old man chuckled. This is the Azure Light Sword, an upper-grade artifact with boundless power. Whoever uses this sword will have their strength increased by 5%. As long as you agree to be my spy in the Green Seeking sect and do something for me, I'll give you this sword. Then the old man took out another box. After opening it, a pungent aroma wafted out. This item is a high-grade mixed yuan pill. Consuming this pill will allow you to break through your current cultivation level. I'll give it to you. Young man, these two are good stuff. You can't buy them even if you want to. What do you think? Wang Zhong shook his head. No need. But since you're here you can stay. I'll hand you over to the sect leader. Brat, you don't know what's good for you. You don't want such a good thing. The old man's tone turned cold as he threatened. If you don't want it, then I'm sorry. Because now that you've seen me, if you don't become one of my people, then you must die. After saying this, a huge pressure instantly enveloped Wang Zhong. In fact, this pressure was nothing to Wang Zhong. What he was thinking now was, once he exposed his strength, could he still stay here? The most important thing now was to support the Green Seeking sect so that he could find Su Lying in the future. Hee hee brat, are you afraid? This is the pressure of the martial mentor realm. As long as you nod, I promise you won't die. And you can get my treasure, which will increase your strength greatly. Although the old man's face was covered, Wang Zhong could hear the old man's pride. Wang Zhong stepped back slightly and said, In that case, don't blame me. Sect leader, elders, enemy attack. Wang Zhong's chi sank into his dantian. His voice rumbled, and a huge shout directly rushed to the sky. Not far away, Asking Celestial and the elders smiled when they saw this scene. This brat, I was right about him. Asking Celestial nodded with satisfaction. So, this brat has passed the test and become the holy son of the Green Seeking sect. No one has any objections, right? If he can maintain this cultivation speed, he is indeed the best candidate. Not bad, not bad. Everyone agreed. Well, go down and explain the situation to Chen Ping. Asking Celestial came over. At this time, the masked old man also took off his black mask. Wang Zhong had never seen this old man before, but after Asking Celestial came over, Asking Celestial greeted him politely. Elder Long, thank you for your hard work. It's not hard. It's good that my old bones can still do things for the sect. Wang Zhong felt a little strange. He looked at the elders and said, Sect leader you are. Chen Ping, this is a test for you. It's like this. Asking Celestial explained the matter. Only then did Wang Zhong know that this was a test for the personal disciple. It made it difficult for Situ and to provoke him and test his temper. Chen Jian bullied Yi Fian to test whether he was upright or not. Yi Fian seduced Wang Zhong to test whether he was a pervert. Finally, Elder Long was sent to tempt Wang Zhong with treasures and intimidate him with the aura of a martial mentor. Fortunately, Wang Zhong had passed all of them. After knowing this, Wang Zhong was speechless. No wonder the green-seeking sect was so powerful. They did not only choose disciples based on talent, but also on character. "Let's go." Asking Celestial led Wang Zhong away. Soon, the two arrived at the green-seeking sect's main hall, in front of a huge statue. Asking Celestial pointed at the statue and said, "This is the founder of the green-seeking sect." He left a message that the green-seeking sect must win people over with virtue. To become the Holy Sun, you must pass the 4 tests. Chenping, you have passed. After saying this, Asking Celestial looked at the statue and bowed slightly. He said loudly, "The 57th sect leader of the green-seeking sect, Asking Celestial, is willing to accept Chen Ping as a personal disciple under the witness of the founder. Today, Chen Ping has passed the 4 tests. His character is guaranteed, and his talent is excellent. Therefore, Chen Ping is the Holy Son of the green-seeking sect." Following this, Asking Celestial reached out his hand, and several sandalwood incense sticks on the table flew into his hand. After lighting them, Asking Celestial respectfully offered the incense sticks and said, "Chen Ping, burn incense for the founder. After that, you will be the only personal disciple of the green-seeking sect. When I retire, you will be the sect leader of the green-seeking sect." Hearing this, Wang Zhong was stunned. He looked at Asking Celestial in surprise. "Holy Son! Yes, you don't have to be so surprised. With your talent you are fully qualified. However, I warn you, don't be arrogant. You should know that even the best talent will be used up one day. Do you understand?" "I know, but I am really surprised. After all, I haven't been in the sect for long. Has nothing to do with time." After thinking for a while, Asking Celestial continued, "I know we are a bit hasty, but there is no other way. The green-seeking sect is likely to encounter the biggest trouble since its establishment. Therefore, I chose you to be the Holy Son in advance." "What trouble?" Wang Zhong was puzzled. "It is not good to tell you these things, but you are already the Holy Son. It is fine to tell you these things. The current Crown Prince is extremely talented and powerful. He may feel that the major sects are too big, so he wants to suppress us. A few years ago, the Heavenly Mountain sect was suppressed like this. In 3 months, it will be the day of the 100 sect gathering. It is very likely that the Crown Prince will find trouble at this gathering." Wang Zhong said, "Since the Crown Prince did this, the other sects should also resist." "What did they say?" "The other sects are too happy." Asking Celestial sighed and continued, "In the imperial capital, there are 5 major sections. These 5 major sects and the imperial court each occupy a high-quality spirit mine. Usually, the spirit stones produced by the mine are evenly distributed. In order to not let the other small sects be dissatisfied and for the resources to be evenly distributed, the imperial court has a rule. Every 3 years, the Holy Son and Holy Daughter competition will be held. The winner will get the rights to the mine, and the loser will have to wait 3 years for another competition. Now that the imperial court is getting stronger in order to suppress us, they definitely do not want us to get the resources. The other small sects are also happy to do so." Wang Zhong understood. "In that case, only 4 sects are on the same side as us." "Wrong, it is 3. A few years ago, the Heavenly Mountain sect was destroyed, so there are only 3 sects left. Of course, not all sects are enemies with us. Although our green-seeking sect is not as strong as the imperial court, we have countless allies. These sects have a good relationship with us. Chen Ping, now you know why I am in such a hurry to make you the Holy Son, right? There is no other way. In 3 months, the 100 sect competition will decide the 5 major sections. Your eldest senior brother Chen Jian is strong, but he doesn't know the ways of the world. You have also noticed that he can't bully anyone. As for second senior brother, third senior brother, and the others, although they are strong, their talent is still weak compared to you. Most importantly, they did not pass the test. Basically, they were defeated by your senior sister Yi Fian. Recalling Yi Fian's beautiful appearance, Wang Zhong could not help but sigh. It was normal to be defeated by Yi Fian. After that, Asking Celestial talked a lot about the secrets of this place. Asking Celestial also mentioned some of the big shots in the outside world. Finally, he took out a token and handed it to Wang Zhong. This is the Holy Sun token of the Green Seeking sect. Seeing this token is like seeing me. Keep it. Wang Zhong took the token and looked at it carefully. There were 3 big words written on it. Holy Sun token. The token was heavy. He did not know what it was made of, but it was extremely hard. Well, Chen Ping, now that you are the Holy Sun, you can make some requests. If you have any difficulties in cultivation or need any resources, you can tell me all at once. The sect will try to satisfy you. Asking Celestial said. It was obvious that the Green Seeking sect was really rich. Since his master had said so, Wang Zhong did not stand on ceremony and made some requests. Asking Celestial was very generous. He brought Wang Zhong to the Green Seeking sect's warehouse and gave him some treasures, as well as 1,000,000 spirit stones. You are already the Holy Sun of the Green Seeking sect. In the future, when you do things, you have to pay attention to the extravagance. Take these spirit stones and spend them as you wish. If it's not enough, you can take more. Good master! Wang Zhong exclaimed in his heart. He did not expect the Holy Sun to be treated so well. After leaving, Wang Zhong could not wait to return to his mountain. He did not expect to see a huge change as soon as he arrived. The first was the house. Before, it was just an ordinary small house. Now there was a big house next to it with a courtyard. It looked very beautiful. When dozens of disciples saw Wang Zhong, one of them walked over and said respectfully, "The great elder asked us to come over and help you rebuild the house. We have chosen the best materials. Take a look." Wang Zhong said with satisfaction, "It's very beautiful. Sorry to trouble you." The group of people was a little flattered. It's no trouble at all. After all, you are the Holy Sun of our sect. It's our duty to do such a small thing. Then we will continue to work. As they spoke, the group of people continued to work. After 2 hours, they were finally almost done. When they left, Wang Zhong gave each of them 5 spirit stones as a reward. After returning to the house, he touched the space ring and a lot of good things appeared. First of all, there was a set of golden cicada underwear. This set of underwear had the effect of resisting spells. Not only was it soft, but it was also extremely light. Wang Zhong did not say anything and put it on. In addition, there was also a praying mat. This praying mat had an array on it. Cultivating on it could have the effect of refreshing the mind and calming the heart. It was very comfortable and would definitely be twice the result with half the effort. Wang Zhong spread the praying mat on the ground and carefully sat on it. Suddenly, a cool and refreshing feeling swept over him. Not only that, the spirit energy on the mountain peak also surged over like a whirlpool. Soon, Wang Zhong felt that he had entered a state of cultivation. Spirit energy gushed out. This time, he was not cultivating a destructive cultivation technique. He had studied this cultivation technique very thoroughly. He could almost enter a state of cultivation while walking. This time, he was cultivating the secret manual of Seeking Azure Sect, the Seeking Heaven technique. This cultivation technique was also very mysterious. It could make one's magic power stronger and advance very quickly. However, compared to the destructive cultivation technique, it was a few grades lower. As he continued to cultivate, Wang Zhong felt that his strength was getting closer and closer to reality. This was a feeling that came from cultivating to the extreme. At this moment, Wang Zhong understood the true meaning of cultivation. No matter what kind of power it was, when the power reached a certain level, it would be the same. It was just like pouring water into a bucket. Whether it was tap water, Coca-Cola, or urine, this bucket could be filled. With this thought, Wang Zhong instantly broke through. After breaking through, his spirit energy soared. Wang Zhong took out a large pile of spirit stones from his spatial ring and began to absorb them. Buzz buzz buzz. Buzz buzz buzz. Countless spirit stones instantly turned into powder. On the second day, Wang Zhong felt that his dantian had become a cyclone. This cyclone was constantly rotating. This was the symbol of the martial master realm. This cyclone was like a heart, working at any time anywhere. Wang Zhong slowly opened his eyes. If Master knew that he had broken through again, he would definitely be shocked. He walked out of the door and did not expect to see a disciple waiting at the door. Wang Zhong was stunned. Yi Fian, have you been waiting at the door for a long time? He was very surprised. Yi Fian had a complicated expression. She was very familiar with the person in front of her. After experiencing this life again, she had a deep understanding of it. However, she did not say anything. She only walked over and said, I know that the Holy Sun has not eaten breakfast yet, so I specially brought some pastries over to apologize. Chapter 801. Thank you, Junior Sister Yi. Wang Zhong took the pastries and looked at them. The pastries made by Yi Fian were very beautiful. They were all shaped like little people and some were shaped like fruits. In short, there were all kinds of strange things. Wang Zhong tried a bite, and it was indeed delicious. He immediately liked the feeling. Most importantly, it was really familiar, as if he had eaten it before. That's right, it was the feeling of having eaten it before. While he was eating, Yi Fian raised her head and stared at Wang Zhong's horns in a daze. Her gaze was very complicated. There was curiosity, anticipation, and more importantly a feeling of relief. Junior Sister Yi, is there a flower on my face? Wang Zhong touched his face and felt a little strange. At this moment, Wang Zhong was indeed very strange. Yesterday, he didn't feel anything strange about Yi Fian. He just felt that she was very beautiful. At this moment, Yi Fian looked at him as if she was looking at an acquaintance. No, why would there be a flower on the successor's face? Then why do you keep looking at me as if you know me? Wang Zhong asked. Yi Fian hurriedly waved her hand. No, it just feels so fast. You've only been in the sect for 3 months, and you've already become a successor. This talent is really rare. Oh, I'm also very surprised. The main reason I'm here today is to apologize to you, successor. I actually tempted you yesterday. You must be very angry, right? No, I was actually a little regretful when I left. Why didn't I agree to it? Wang Zhong joked. Yi Fian was stunned. Wang Zhong laughed. Look at you, I'm just joking. Yi Fian instantly blushed. She thought to herself, sure enough, he still likes to drive like before. Actually, I'm very grateful to you. After all, you're a girl and you can actually make such a sacrifice. To be honest, there are really very few people who can do this. Thank you for the compliment, successor. Your pastries are very delicious. Is there anything else? Wang Zhong asked. No, I'll take my leave and go cultivate. Go ahead. Wang Zhong waved his hand. Yi Fian shyly turned her head and left. But halfway through, she paused and turned her head back to ask, Saint, there are some parts of the cultivation technique that I'm not familiar with. Can I ask you? Of course. Wang Zhong revealed a smile that was as refreshing as a spring breeze. Thank you, Saint. Yi Fian finally left. Wang Zhong looked at her back and shook his head. Another ignorant young girl who was drugged by me. Sigh, it would be better for me to appear less in public in the future to avoid unnecessary trouble. However, the next step is to ask the Qingqing sect to look for Su lying secretly. Wang Zhong looked at the distant mountains and couldn't help but murmur. Su lying, where are you now? She's definitely not dead. After all, if she was really dead, the game would have ended long ago. Yi Fian floated towards another mountain peak in the distance. Wherever she passed, the disciples acted as if they didn't see her. In the blink of an eye, Yi Fian arrived at a mountain peak that towered into the clouds. A cold woman with a white veil covering her mouth tilted her head slightly and said, "You didn't expose yourself, did you?" "Of course I wouldn't expose myself for such a big matter. But he's really the same as before," Yi Fian said with some emotion. "Oh, why are you so impatient? If anything were to be discovered, all our efforts would have been for naught." "I know, that's why I hurried back." Yi Fian smiled and continued, "But I have a feeling that he really remembered something after eating my pastries." "I hope so." The cold woman looked in the direction of the mountain peak where Wang Zhong lived and thought silently in her heart. The plan was about to succeed. When that time came, everything would be fine. At the sect master's side, a few elders who were sent out rushed back. "Sect master, we went to Chen Ping's hometown to inquire. He was indeed born and raised there. After he was born, his parents had an accident and passed away. After that, his grandmother sent him to a big local family, which is Su Liying's family, the Su family. After that, Su Liying had an accident and the Su family changed drastically. The elders told him everything that they had heard about it. The details were exactly as Wang Zhong said. Asking God nodded slightly, not surprised in his heart. It was very simple. The previous test had proven that Wang Zhong's character was questionable, so he believed that what Wang Zhong said before was true. At this time, an elder with a wrinkled face said, "Now that the outside world knows about Chen Ping becoming the Holy Son, although some disciples don't have any objections, there are still many disciples who have doubts." As soon as he finished speaking, the elder in charge of foreign affairs next to him echoed, "Yes, sect master." Many inner disciples cultivate day and night, spending their efforts just to become stronger and contribute to the sect. When they heard that Chen Ping became the Holy Son in just 3 months, it's no wonder that they feel uncomfortable and have some objections. Yes, I also heard some objections. Sect master, about the establishment of the Holy Son. Isn't it too rushed? Asking God glanced at the 3 people. His heart was like a mirror. Of course he knew what these people meant. These 3 people all had disciples and juniors with good aptitudes. Although they were not his direct disciples, their strength was not inferior to his direct disciples. Therefore, they said this to fight for their juniors, hoping to have a chance to become the Holy Son or Holy Daughter. In fact, this was normal. Healthy competition between the same sect was necessary. If it was in the past, asking God would definitely give them a chance. However, it was different now. The 100-sect grand competition was about to start, and the Holy Son had to be established as soon as possible. More importantly, he valued Wang Zhong's talent. This kind of talent was extremely terrifying. With the strength of the younger generation, it was impossible for them to be compared to Wang Zhong. Just as he was about to reject the request of these elders, the elder in charge of foreign affairs unexpectedly said, "Sect master, the matter of the Holy Son is very important. Although Chen Ping has passed the test of character, his strength still needs to be tested. Yes, we believe in his talent, but talent needs to be converted into fighting strength. If he only has talent and has low fighting strength, it will not do." "A test?" Asking God smiled. "Do you think he is a disciple of a big family? Don't forget what he went through in the past. He was a servant from a young age. Later he was locked up in the dungeon and beaten up. It can be considered a coincidence that led to his cultivation. Do you think that the person who went through all this is an ignorant and incompetent second-generation profligate?" This. After the sect master said this, everyone looked at each other and did not know what to say. Asking God waved his hand. "So there is no need for any messy tests. I believe in him. But Chen Ping was born as a servant and does not know any etiquette. When he goes out in the future, how can he represent Wenqing's sect?" Some elders were still unwilling to give up. "Yes, the 100-sect grand competition is in 3 months. This. Asking God was also annoyed. He snorted and looked at the crowd. "There is no need to talk about this anymore. Since I have already announced, Chen Ping will be the Holy Son of Wenqing's sect. I have already sworn with him in front of the statue of the founder." Sigh. The elders could only sigh and did not say much. Today, Wang Zhong stayed in his own mountain and familiarized himself with the heaven-seeking art that the sect master gave him. Because of his previous experience in martial arts, he learned the heaven-seeking art very quickly. And he also discovered a very important point. This set of art was very familiar to him. It was as if he had cultivated it before. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried to recall, he could not remember anything about this set of art. He could only give up. 7 days later, his strength advanced again. He had mastered the heaven-seeking art and the destructive art through a comprehensive study. At this time, Wang Zhong's advancement might still be at the martial master level, but in terms of the use of the art, he was at the master level. Even the sect master Wen Tian was not as good as him. Because of this, many people who were not convinced thought that Wang Zhong was lucky to become the holy son of Wenqing sect. But in fact, with his strength, even if he started his own sect, he would definitely be able to become the #1 sect in this area. It's time to go down and send some people to find Su Liying, Wang Zhong thought as he walked. He guessed that Su Liying should be hiding in a very safe place. Otherwise there would be no news for so long. Then where could she be? Only if he released some news would Su Liying come looking for him. The External Affairs Department was in charge of dealing with the external affairs of the sect. It was also the work of the outer sect disciples. When he reached the main peak, he casually asked around and found out where the outer sect disciples were. The environment here was quite easy to find. The main peak and a few other peaks were where the entire Wenqing sect was located. The mountains where the outer sect disciples lived were beside some mines. On one hand they guarded these mines. On the other hand, the outer sect disciples lived a simple life. Other than cultivating, they also had to complete the monthly tasks of the Wenqing sect. There were many kinds of tasks. For example, sweeping the floor. This was the most common. Then there was cleaning the floor, washing clothes, cooking and pruning branches. The most common task was to mine for the sect. Although these tasks were tiring, the disciples all wanted to do them. Because if you don't do it, then sorry, according to the sect rules, those who do not complete the task will be expelled from the sect. Wang Zhong arrived at the main peak of the External Affairs Department. As soon as he arrived, he saw a sea of people. That's right, compared to the sparsely populated peaks of the inner sect, the outer sect was much more crowded. After all, in this world geniuses would always be in the minority. Seeing so many people here, Wang Zhong was very gratified. These people were all the pillars of the Wenqing sect. Most of the people here were here to receive the daily tasks of the Wenqing sect. Most of them had completed their tasks and were here to submit their tasks. In addition to the fixed tasks every month, there were often some tasks here. For example, if the medicinal herbs room lacked certain medicinal herbs, the task of collecting medicinal herbs would be issued. Some disciples would accept the task and go out to complete it. For example, if an elder needed to send a letter home, the task would also be issued. Of course, there were countless tasks such as going out to protect a certain person or escorting some goods. Be careful, don't spill these demonic snake remnants. If these are spilled, the task will fail. Beside Wang Zhong, an older outer sanctum disciple was giving instructions to a junior disciple. These people did not pay attention to Wang Zhong. This was normal. Since Wang Zhong became the Holy Son, no one had seen him except for a few elders and a few disciples. So walking here, no one paid attention to him. At this time, the junior brother holding the demonic snake remnants staggered and the liquid almost fell out. The demonic snake remnants' medicinal properties were fierce, especially since they could not be sealed and packaged. They were usually placed in a space ring. However, for these outer sect disciples, space rings were too precious. They could not afford it at all and could only use bamboo tubes to store it. At this moment, Wang Zhong supported him. "Be careful," Wang Zhong said. "Thank you, senior brother." The two outer sect disciples breathed a sigh of relief and thanked him repeatedly. The two hurriedly left. Wang Zhong smiled and didn't pay much attention to it. Just as Wang Zhong was about to find the external affairs elder to find a few experts to secretly search for Su Liang, a familiar figure appeared in front of him. This figure was very familiar. He could not believe that he would meet her here. Yao Bing. In I Wanna Be a Scumbag chapter, she was his wife. They were exactly the same. The only difference was that Yao Bing in I Wanna Be a Scumbag was a city beauty. Before he knew her, Yao Bing had the aura of an older sister. Later she became a gentle and cute girl. Here Yao Bing was wearing a green ancient dress. She had a noble aura around her. It was obvious that she came from a big family. However, because of her talent, she could only be an external affairs disciple in Azure Seeking sect. In the outer sect, no matter what your identity was, you were treated the same and had to complete the tasks assigned by the sect. At this moment, Yao Bing was carrying a pole on her shoulder. The pole was filled with large boulders. Fortunately, Yao Bing was a martial artist and could carry so many boulders. Otherwise, with her delicate body, how could she carry so many boulders? Yao Bing wiped her sweat. She was obviously tired. Although she was a martial artist, there was a limit to the strength in her body. Once she was exhausted, she could only use her own strength to carry things. Hey, isn't this Yao Bing? Carrying things. At this moment, a fair-skinned man walked over and sneered. He purposely touched the pole. Yao Bing didn't have much strength left, and the pole immediately started to shake when she was touched. Then Yao Bing was about to fall. Wang Zhong frowned. This man dared to bully her. He strode forward and supported Yao Bing, who was about to fall. Yao Bing saw Wang Zhong and quickly thanked him. Then she looked at the man who bullied her and frowned. Lin Dong, what is the meaning of this? Why did you push me on purpose? Lin Dong smiled faintly. Who pushed you on purpose? I was just walking normally and greeted you when I saw you. You did it on purpose. Yao Bing's eyes reddened. She sounded like she was about to cry. I can't be bothered with you. Lin Dong was about to leave, but Wang Zhong blocked his way. How can you leave after bullying someone? How can you do that in this world? Chapter 802. Leaving after bullying someone? What kind of logic is that in this world? Wang Zhong's words immediately stopped Lin Dong. Lin Dong turned his head. Are you teaching me how to do things? Wang Zhong's voice suddenly became louder. Not only am I going to teach you how to do things, but I'm also going to teach you how to behave. This time Wang Zhong stood up for Yao Bing, not just for her. If it were any other man, he would have done the same. After all, he was a saint, the future sect master who would be in charge of the entire sect. If he couldn't even handle such a small matter, wouldn't he become a laughingstock? Ha ha ha. Lin Dong wasn't afraid at all because he didn't know Wang Zhong. He thought that Wang Zhong had popped out of nowhere. Looking at Wang Zhong's appearance, he was very young. Lin Dong guessed that he was a greenhorn who hadn't experienced the harsh beating of society. Lin Dong decided to teach Wang Zhong a lesson. He smiled faintly and said, "All right, I'd like to see how you're going to teach me how to behave." In the next moment, Wang Zhong slapped Lin Dong across the face. It was so fast that no one noticed it. In the next moment, Lin Dong was sent flying. At this moment, everyone within a few dozen meters of them noticed it and immediately turned their gazes over. You're crazy. Do you know who that was? Lin Dong, Elder Lin Wuqian's nephew. You're finished. One of Lin Dong's followers shouted accusingly. Lin Wuqian asked the second elder of the Azure Sect's punishment department. Since the first elder was in seclusion all year round, most of the matters in the punishment department were handed over to him. Because he was in charge of punishment, many disciples were afraid of the punishment department. You're finished. Lin Dong is a vengeful person. You made him suffer, so he'll break your leg tomorrow, a young man reminded her. Yao Bing looked touched. She looked at Wang Zhong and said, "Thank you, senior brother. But this happened because of me. Don't worry, I'll be your witness." Wang Zhong said. Does this guy really break people's legs? Does Lin Wuqian not care? Wang Zhong thought for a while and remembered Lin Wuqian. When Wang Zhong met the sect master previously, this Lin Wuqian was beside him. This person was a little fat and had a cold expression on his face. Therefore, Wang Zhong didn't like him very much. Yao Bing said, "This Lin Dong is very cruel. There was a male disciple who offended him and had his leg broken by him. As for Elder Lin Wuqian, he is very protective of his disciples and is not easy to talk to. Won't he handle it impartially?" Wang Zhong asked. A young man said in a low voice, "It would be strange if he knew. He only knows how to bully the disciples. Many outer disciples have to wash his clothes and pants for him. He is so annoying. Little brother, I see that you are also new here. You should go and talk to the other elders." With the other elders' help, that Lin Wuqian won't dare to go too far. Otherwise, humph. Wang Zhong said. "Okay, I got it." He was secretly laughing in his heart. He was worried that he would not be able to make an example out of Lin Wuqian after he became the saint. Now he could use Lin Wuqian to establish his prestige. "You are finished. You are finished." Lin Dong finally woke up after being pinched on his philtrum. Then he recalled what had happened before and was extremely angry. "You are finished. How dare you hit me? Haha, you are really finished. I said that even the sect master can't protect you." Lin Dong pointed at Wang Zhong and shouted. Wang Zhong pondered for a moment and said, "I will leave first." After that, he squeezed through the crowd and left. He just ran away. Some people were stunned. He is still scared. Come to think of it, that is Lin Wuqian, the second elder of the punishment department. I thought that this young man was tough. I didn't expect him to be like this. Poor girl. Lin Dong will definitely vent his anger on her. Look at her, she is also new here. Sigh. I heard that not long ago, Lin Dong flirted with this girl and was scolded. Because there were other elders there, Lin Dong didn't say anything. I didn't expect that he would still come looking for trouble. What bad luck. This girl is so beautiful. She's really going to die. At this moment, Yao Bing was also stunned. She didn't expect Wang Zhong to run away. Well, he ran away. After all, this is my business. Why should I implicate him? Yao Bing's face flashed with a trace of stubbornness. She said, "I will let the other elders come and judge this matter. You bullied me first." Haha. All right, let's see who will help you. Lin Dong laughed without restraint. All right, you wait. Yao Bing wanted to leave, but soon a majestic voice rolled over. Don't look for the other elders. I'm here. In the blink of an eye, the second elder of the punishment department, Lin Wuqian, appeared in front of Yao Bing. Lin Wuqian held Yao Bing's neck with one hand and said coldly, "What did you do to my nephew, elder?" Yao Bing was shocked and couldn't say anything. The surrounding disciples were even more frightened. Many of them hurriedly retreated to resist Lin Wuqian's enormous power. Lin Wuqian said, "Why no one says anything? Take it to the punishment department. Who else has anything to say?" His bell-sized eyes scanned the crowd. At this moment, no one dared to say anything. No one dared. Whoever dared to say another word would end up like Yao Bing. "Greetings, Elder Lin." Lin Dong hurriedly ran over. He covered his face and pointed at Yao Bing. "Just now, she actually ganged up with a disciple to assault me. Elder, look, my face is swollen from the slap." Lin Wuqian grunted and said to Yao Bing, "What else do you have to say now?" "I want to see the other elders." Yao Bing was still insisting. "Don't waste time. Let's go." Lin Wuqian was unusually domineering. After he finished speaking, he wanted to take Yao Bing away. "I haven't even said anything and you want to take her away?" Wang Zhong's voice suddenly rolled over and instantly appeared behind Lin Wuqian. The reason he dared to leave was, of course, not to escape. He wanted to see what Lin Wuqian would do. No matter what, if he wanted to deal with Lin Wuqian, he had to be justified. The result was the same as what the others said. Lin Wuqian wanted to deal with Yao Bing indiscriminately. Lin Wuqian was just about to speak when Lin Dong pointed at Wang Zhong. His eyes suddenly lit up. "Elder, it's this bastard. He's the one who slapped me just now. Damn it, take him back and beat him up. No, teach him a good lesson." Wang Zhong smiled and said to Lin Wuqian, "Elder Lin, you want to arrest me?" Lin Wuqian's face twitched. He secretly cursed Lin Dong in his heart. What was wrong with him? Why did he provoke the Holy Sun for no reason? Yao Bing was shocked. She quietly pulled Wang Zhong's clothes and whispered, "He's Elder Lin. Keep your voice down." "It's fine." Wang Zhong did not say much. The surrounding people were stunned. This person is crazy. He actually dares to provoke Elder Lin Wuqian. He really doesn't know what's good for him. He must be tired of living. Looking at our group, who would dare to provoke Lin Wuqian? Isn't that so? Yao Bing's face was full of nervousness. She said to Wang Zhong, "Why did you come over? You're really..." She did not know what to say anymore. She only felt that Wang Zhong was really stupid and should not have come over. Just as everyone was lamenting that Wang Zhong was going to be in big trouble, Lin Wuqian suddenly cupped his hands and said, "Greetings, Holy Sun! Holy Sun! Damn, Holy Sun! This is the legendary Holy Sun. How is this possible?" Everyone was stunned, especially Yao Bing. She was stunned on the spot. Lin Dong was the most dumbfounded of all. He had a complicated look on his face. He never thought that the person he provoked would be the Holy Sun. "Greetings, Holy Sun! Greetings, Holy Sun!" Wang Zhong nodded slightly and shouted, "No need to be so polite. We're all from the same sect. Just call me senior brother." Wang Zhong's attitude made many disciples feel his sincerity and politeness. This Holy Sun seemed to be easy to talk to. But soon Wang Zhong's face darkened. He looked at Lin Wuqian and said, "Elder Lin, let me talk about what I just saw. This Lin Dong bullied his fellow disciples. If I didn't step in, who knows how junior sister Yao would have been bullied. He's your nephew. What do you think we should do?" "I'll investigate this matter when I get back." "Investigate? But I also heard that you were unfair and bullied disciples. You used your status as the second elder of the disciplinary hall to bully disciples wantonly." Before Wang Zhong could finish, Lin Wuqian frowned and said, "Holy Sun, these things were deliberately slandered by someone. You just became the Holy Sun. There are many things that you don't know. Some people will deliberately slander you. Don't fall into the trap of villains. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed." What he meant was that Lin Dong had just become the Holy Sun and needed support. If he angered Lin Wuqian would not support him. Wang Zhong naturally understood that. But so what? He slapped Lin Wuqian with a backhand. Smack. Everyone was stunned. "Threatening me. Lin Wuqian, how dare you? Now, I'll announce your 3 major crimes. First, bully disciples. Second, cover up for your nephew Lin Dong. Third, threaten the Holy Sun. I'll punish you to enter Black Edge Mountain and mine for 50 years. And Lin Dong, I'll destroy your cultivation and expel you from the sect." After that, Wang Zhong suddenly looked at the few young men who followed Lin Dong and said, "The same goes for all of you." What? Everyone's faces turned pale. They did not expect the newly appointed Holy Sun to be so ruthless. "Holy Sun, don't force me." Lin Wuqian's eyes turned cold. Black Edge Mountain was a very chaotic mountain range. There were endless black winds there. These black winds could tear a person's flesh and blood apart when they blew on the body of an ordinary person. When they blew on the body of a martial artist, it would constantly consume the martial artist's cultivation. Therefore, once one entered Black Edge Mountain, it meant that one would not be able to cultivate. And being unable to cultivate meant that one's cultivation level would drop. However, Black Edge Mountain had a supreme-grade spiritual mine, so one had to enter. Therefore, Qingqing sect had a rule that only disciples or elders who had committed a crime would enter there. This was a punishment. Of course, there was no need to worry that those who entered Black Edge Mountain would escape. It was extremely dangerous inside Black Edge Mountain. There was only one entrance and exit. If one wanted to leave from other places, it was basically impossible. Therefore, if one wanted to leave earlier, they had to complete the mission as soon as possible. Wang Zhong smiled. Lin Wutian, how did I force you? You said you didn't force me. I've been working hard for the sect. You actually want to send me to Black Edge Mountain. Let me tell you, no way. Oh, no way. Wang Zhong was silent. If that's the case, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Haha, you think you can deal with me? Lin Wutian had already thought about it. At most, he would beat the Holy Sun. When the sect leader investigated, he would admit his mistake and say that the Holy Sun was too much. When he said that, even the sect leader would not be able to say anything, right? His idea was good, but unfortunately it was destined to fail. That was because Wang Zhong had come over. In an instant, he appeared in front of Lin Wutian and slapped him. Lin Wutian originally thought that Wang Zhong was just a little more talented and would not be that strong. However, to his surprise, Wang Zhong's power was so strong that he could not resist it at all. But in his eyes, Wang Zhong was just a person at the peak of the martial soldier realm. Indeed, Wang Zhong had hidden his strength. Others might not be able to hide it well, but he could. It was very simple because his use of power had reached a terrifying level. In the blink of an eye, Lin Wutian was subdued. Junior brothers and sisters, I am the Holy Son of Qingqing sect. Regarding Lin Wutian and Lin Dong's bullying of disciples, you can report it truthfully. I guarantee that I will uphold justice for you. Please rest assured. Hearing this, the crowd began to whisper to each other. Yao Bing, you will be responsible for recording. Yao Bing was stunned. Yes, it's you. But Holy Son, I wonder how you know my name. Yao Bing tilted her head, feeling very strange. Wang Zhong suddenly remembered that Yao Bing did not seem to know him. At that moment he was getting more and more confused. Who was Yao Bing? Why was she here? If she was indeed from here, then who was Yao Bing in the I'm a Scumbag mission? Not only did they look the same, but even their names were the same. In the distant mountain peak, Yi Fian looked over with emotion. A woman next to her sighed and said, He met Yao Bing. Yes, when he recovers, I don't know if he can accept this fact. His heart is very strong. Wang Zhong really did not know that others were watching him. At that moment, asking gods and many elders had arrived. After knowing the ins and outs of the matter, asking gods was very disappointed with Lin Wutian's actions because of the conclusive evidence. Therefore, on that day, Lin Wutian was sent to Black Edge Mountain as a punishment of 50 years. Everyone listen up. From now on, the Holy Sun's orders are mine. After saying that, asking gods left the mountain peak. At night, in order to thank Wang Zhong for saving her, Yao Bing specially invited him down the mountain to have a meal at a small tavern. Wang Zhong did not want to agree at first, but he thought that it would be good to have an obedient person in the outer sect to help him gather some information. So he agreed. By the way, Holy Sun. Wang Zhong shook his head and said, Didn't I tell you before? If you treat me as a friend, don't always call me Holy Sun. Just call me Senior Brother. Yao Bing sighed in her heart. The rumored Holy Sun was right in front of her, and he was so approachable. It was really unexpected. Holy Sun, I'm very curious. How did you know my name? Don't tell me. Don't tell me you've been paying attention to me for a long time. After saying that, Yao Bing lowered her head shyly. Chapter 803. Saint, I'm curious. How did you know my name? Don't tell me. Don't tell me you've been paying attention to me for a long time. Yao Bing blushed and lowered her head. Wang Zhong sighed in his heart. He did not expect Yao Bing to ask again. Of course, he could not tell her that he had seen her before. He could only say, "Actually, I heard that you're one of the top 10 beauties in the outer sect. I was curious and took a look at your portrait. That's how I knew. I'm actually one of the top 10 beauties in the outer sect. May I ask senior brother, who made this ranking?" In her confusion, Yao Bing was actually very happy. She was a girl after all. She liked pretty girls. Wang Zhong smiled and said, "Of course, this ranking was made by a busybody. I just casually took a look and happened to meet you. Don't you think it's a coincidence?" "It's really a coincidence." Yao Bing sighed in her heart. Sure enough, she was noticed by the saint. But what if the saint has improper thoughts about me? What should I do? Yao Bing couldn't help but worry in her heart. But soon she shook her head. "I'm really stupid. How can I think of the saint like that?" The saint did not hesitate to offend Lin Wuqian for me. "I'm really stupid." Thinking of this, the more Yao Bing looked at Wang Zhong, the more she felt that he was handsome. Such a Prince Charming, even if he really did something to her, she should be willing to do it, right? No, I must be reserved. Wang Zhong sipped a mouthful of tea as he felt extremely puzzled. Why was Yao Bing looking at him with such a strange gaze? She can't have fallen for me again, right? Come to think of it, if the Yao Bing in the scumbag story was really the same kind of person, then it would be easy for her to fall for him. Recalling bits and pieces of the past, Wang Zhong sighed in his heart. He did not expect to see Yao Bing again in such a situation. Unfortunately, the person in front of him had completely forgotten about him. Could it be that this was Yao Bing's reincarnation? "Yao Bing." "Yes, Saint, is there anything?" Yao Bing quickly raised her head. "In the future you will be in the outer sect. If there's any injustice you must tell me." With regards to Yao Bing's character, Wang Zhong was very assured. She was a person with a strong sense of justice. "You want to change the atmosphere in the sect." The smart Yao Bing understood Wang Zhong's intention. "That's right. Although our sect is big, has been around for a long time and has a strong foundation, the more it is like this, the harder it is to manage the people inside. Therefore, in order for our green-seeking sect to become more prosperous, we need to change the atmosphere." Yao Bing said happily. "If that's the case, then that's great. To be honest, many senior brothers and sisters like to bully others." "All right, tell me about it." Yao Bing didn't have any ulterior motives, so she started chatting with Wang Zhong. After chatting for a while, Wang Zhong had a general understanding of the outer sect. Before they left, Wang Zhong gave Yao Bing a lot of heavenly treasures. In order to help her improve her strength, he also opened a room to help her open up her meridians. It was a real meridian connection, not a fake one. After connecting, Yao Bing twitched a few times on the spot. She was pleasantly surprised to find that she had advanced. "Thank you, Saint." Yao Bing was very emotional. The saint was really too good to her. Not only did he give her heavenly treasures, but he also helped her open up her meridians, allowing her to break through the bottleneck directly. Now, she was very worried that she couldn't repay the saint's favor at all. Thinking about it, she could only repay him with her body. Wang Zhong didn't think so much. He patted Yao Bing's shoulder earnestly and said, "After all, you'll be working for me in the future. How can you be weak? Right. Work hard and improve yourself. You'll benefit a lot in the future." Yao Bing was very emotional. "Saint." Hey, don't be so mushy." Wang Zhong was a little speechless. This Yao Bing was different from the Yao Bing from I'm Scumbag. When he first met Yao Bing, this girl was quite fierce. "I'll take my leave first. I have something to do." Wang Zhong left the place. Yao Bing sighed in her heart. As expected of the saint. He has been holding it in and didn't make a move on me. Who else in this world can have such self-control? The answer is no. Yao Bing answered her own question. Thinking about it, she felt that it wasn't good to receive so many favors from the saint. "Yes, I must do something for him when I get back." Wang Zhong once again came to the main peak of the outer sect. He went to the Foreign Affairs Department and found the elder in charge here, Su Tianming. Su Tianming looked a little old, but he was very capable. After all, the Foreign Affairs Department was in charge of external affairs and would often issue missions related to the outer sect. He was very busy. Seeing Wang Zhong coming over, Su Tianming's shrewd eyes narrowed and said, "Saint, why are you here? Excuse me for not going out to meet you." When the others in the room saw this, they were all shocked and hurriedly bowed. Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, "No need to be so polite. I'm just here to take a look and issue a small mission." Finished. Wang Zhong looked at the people in the room. Su Tianming understood and said to the crowd, "All of you can leave first." "Yes, Elder Su." Everyone left. After Wang Zhong closed the door, he said, "Elder Su, there is a small mission that I would like to trouble you to do personally." "Please speak." Su Tianming said, "I want to find someone. I just need to know her whereabouts." "Who is it? Why is the saint being so mysterious?" Su Tianming was a little strange. Logically speaking, if the saint wanted to find someone, it would be easy. He could just use his own strength to find someone. Why did he have to sneak over? Because this person is called Su Liying. Su Tianming raised his eyebrows. Su Liying, the saintess of the Tianshan sect. Isn't she wanted? That's her. Su Tianming nodded. He had also heard that Wang Zhong and Su Liying were family when they were young. He seemed to be a servant of Su Liying's family. The two of them had a good relationship. To be honest, this matter is indeed a little troublesome. The imperial court is looking for Su Liying. If they know about this, they will find trouble with us. Su Tianming frowned and suddenly smiled. However, it seems that even if we are obedient, the imperial court will find trouble with us. It doesn't matter. Elder Su, what you mean is? Su Tianming smiled and said, "Of course we will listen to the saint's orders. Of course I will do this secretly. After all, there are spies of the imperial court in our Qingqing sect. We still have to be careful." There are spies of the imperial court. Saint, you have been cultivating in the sect and rarely come out. You might not know about this. There is an exchange disciple sent by the imperial court here. On the surface, it looks like an exchange, but in reality, he is monitoring us. The key is that we know about this, but we still can't touch him. We don't want to anger the imperial court and kill us. Wang Zhong understood after hearing this. I didn't expect the imperial court to have already taken action. Wang Zhong said. Isn't that so? This 100-school gathering is so annoying. Then I will leave first. I will keep the matter of finding Su Liying in mind. Although Su Tianming was old, he had been managing this place for many years. It was impossible for him to not have a few hands. The most important thing was that he was trustworthy. This was what the sect master told him. In order to let Wang Zhong manage this place well in the future, the sect master and Wang Zhong talked about a lot of people in this place. Who was trustworthy, who was lazy, who was strong. After leaving this place, Wang Zhong didn't go out for the next few days. Many disciples came to visit him. Wang Zhong actually understood the intentions of these disciples. As a holy son, these people were only here to build a good relationship with him. On the other hand, it was also because he dealt with Lin Wutian. Many people felt that Wang Zhong wanted to establish his authority. The others were worried that they would be the next target, so they came to get close to him. On this day, after sending off an inner disciple, Wang Zhong prepared to change a place to cultivate so that he wouldn't be disturbed again. At this time, Yi Fian floated down. Oh, Yi Fian is here. Wang Zhong smiled warmly. What's the matter? At this time, Yao Bing also floated down. Yi Fian frowned. Yao Bing, you're here. Senior sister, how do you know my name? Yao Bing was curious. Did senior sister Yi know that she was ranked in the top 10 in the sect? Course I know your name. After all, you're so. Yi Fian quickly stopped. She didn't know what she was hiding. Senior Sister Yi actually. These rankings were randomly arranged by busybodies. Yao Bing was worried that Yi Fian would feel uncomfortable because of these rankings, so she quickly explained. Rankings? What rankings? Yi Fian was curious. It's the top 10 beauties in the sect. The saint said that I'm ranked in the top 10. Speaking of me, Yao Bing revealed an embarrassed expression. Top 10 beauties. Yi Fian looked at Wang Zhong. Ahem, it's all gossip. Let's not talk about it. Speaking of which, why are you all here? Of course I have something to do, Yi Fian said proudly. I've done what the saint asked me to do, Yao Bing said. Good, take a look. Wang Zhong was very satisfied. He said to Yi Fian, tell me. Great. Elder Su Tianming told me that you're looking for Su Liang. I've released the news but not under your name. It's under the Su family. Even if the dynasty wants to investigate, they won't be able to trace it back to you. That's right. Is there anything else? Of course I'm here to see you. Yi Fian said generously as if she was talking about something insignificant and normal. You're nobody to me. Go cultivate by yourself. I'm busy. Wang Zhong was speechless. I'll leave later. Yao Bing, why are you here? Yi Fian asked. Yao Bing had a feeling. She didn't know Yi Fian, but this woman kept looking at her as if she was an enemy. This made her feel helpless. I'm here to report. Go ahead. Wang Zhong nodded at Yi Fian. Since Elder Su Tianming had entrusted the task of finding Su Liang to Yi Fian, it meant that this girl was trustworthy. Then Yao Bing began to report. She listed a few disciples who were usually arrogant and despotic. Not only did she list them out, but she also made clear notes about their usual behavior. He even listed some of the witnesses. In this way he was able to make it as detailed as possible. Great. Wang Zhong nodded. He thought to himself that Yao Bing was indeed as meticulous as before. Oh yes, this person is the most important. Yao Bing took out a portrait. The person in the portrait looked righteous and was quite good-looking. This person is called Zhang Dongzi, a spy from the dynasty. This is the spy from the dynasty. That's right. This person relied on the protection of the dynasty to do whatever he wanted in the sect. Not only did he want all kinds of cultivation resources, but he also liked to tease young ladies. The sect was angry with him, but they didn't dare to say anything. At this point Yao Bing said seriously, Saint, if you can get rid of this villain, at least your reputation among the female disciples will be very high. Let's start with him. Then Wang Zhong asked Yi Fian curiously, You're not going to stop me? Why should I stop you? I don't like that guy either. All right, let's do it then. Wang Zhong explained the plan. Yi Fian's eyes lit up and she said it was great. On this day, Zhang Dongzi was walking on the road alone. He was a little tired of eating spiritual medicine these few days. He was ready to go down the mountain to find a good tavern for a few drinks and visit the brothels. Before he left, he ran to Elder Su to ask for money as he didn't have much. Elder Su, I'm going down the mountain. Give me some money. That's right. As a spy from the dynasty, Zhang Dongzi was always so arrogant. He was sure that this person from Qingqing sect wouldn't dare to provoke him. Take it. Su Tianming didn't even bat an eyelid as he took out 1,000 taels and gave it to Zhang Dongzi. He was already used to doing this. Every time this guy came over, he would either ask for spiritual stones or silver. If he didn't give it to him, this guy would talk nonsense to the people from the dynasty. Thanks. Zhang Dongzi turned and left. After walking for a while, he was stunned. There was actually a young lady in front of him and she was quite pretty. Oh, a girl. Zhang Dongzi smiled and walked over. The reason why he wanted to bully her was because she was sitting on the ground and seemed to be injured. Beauty, you seem to be injured. Come, I know some massage. I'll help you loosen your muscles and bones. No need, my senior brother will come over. I'm your senior brother too. Come on. Help. Someone is bullying me. Help. What made Zhang Dongzi confused was that he hadn't even touched her and the girl was already screaming. "Hey, what are you screaming for?" Although the girl was screaming, he wasn't afraid. He was from the dynasty, why would he be afraid of this? Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Soon the disciples came over one by one. Zhang Dongzi said calmly, "Junior sister, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first." He didn't want to waste time here. It was better to go down the mountain and enjoy himself for a few days. No one dared to stop him, and many even took the initiative to make way. This made Zhang Dongzi even more proud. A bunch of reckless fools, they still have to give in to me. Why didn't you stop him? Some disciples were angry. Forget it, he's not an ordinary person. No matter how extraordinary he is, he's more powerful than the saint. If the saint sees this situation, he'll definitely deal with him. Someone said unhappily, "I forget it. He's from the dynasty." Hearing this, those who were angry previously fell silent. They couldn't afford to offend the dynasty. Chapter 804. Looking at the expressions of the people around him, Zhang Dongzi was even more smug. "Get out of my way, you bunch of stupid dogs. Can't you see that I'm going down the mountain to settle some matters? Can you bear the responsibility if you delay my important matters?" The group of disciples was furious, but they did not dare to voice their anger. They could only back off. "All right, what's your name?" Zhang Dongzi looked at the girl on the ground. He had a feeling that this girl was deliberately tricking him. Therefore, he decided that he would teach this girl a lesson after this. How dare she trick him? She must be tired of living. "I'm Yao Bing." The girl on the ground was Yao Bing. She had followed Wang Zhong's plan and purposely tricked Zhang Dongzi to find trouble with him. "Yao Bing, okay, I got it. Let me tell you, you're in big trouble. Even the sect leader can't protect you." "That's what I said." Zhang Dongzi sneered and turned around to leave. However, when he turned around, he bumped into an unusually tall person. The bump made him dizzy and he was instantly enraged. "Which blind person didn't see me?" "It's me." Wang Zhong squinted his eyes. Just like the rumors, this Zhang Dongzi was not a good person. Zhang Dongzi frowned and looked up. He did not recognize him at all. This guy looked very young. He was probably a young disciple. Don't blame him for not knowing the saint. In fact, Qingqing sect was too big. Wang Zhong had not come out much, so many people did not know him. Moreover, Zhang Dongzi only knew how to eat, drink and flirt with girls. He had never seen Wang Zhong before. "Get lost." The arrogant Zhang Dongzi raised his hand and swung it at Wang Zhong. However, Wang Zhong was faster. In the next moment, Zhang Dongzi was kicked away. Ouch! Zhang Dongzi landed on the ground. His face was contorted from the pain. "Just you wait. Dynasty will deal with you." As soon as he said that, everyone's expression changed drastically. Even the sect leader did not dare to offend Dynasty. None of the sects that offended Dynasty would have a good ending. "I'm from Dynasty. They sent me here as an exchange disciple. Since you dared to hit me, be prepared to face the wrath of Dynasty." Holy Sun! At this time, the others hurriedly saluted Wang Zhong. Yao Bing in particular hurried to Wang Zhong's side and glared at Zhang Dongzi. Holy Sun! Realization dawned on Zhang Dongzi. No wonder this young man was so arrogant. It turned out that he was the newly appointed Holy Sun. However, so what if he was the Holy Sun? Didn't you see that even the sect master and grand elder couldn't control him? Was the Holy Sun as awesome as them? Moreover, Dynasty had secretly given him an order to investigate the Holy Sun's strength and background. Never had he thought that this guy would run right into the muzzle. Since that was the case, he might as well test it out. "So you're the Holy Sun. Then you should know the consequences of offending Dynasty. Apologize to me immediately." "Apologize? I haven't even settled the score with you, and you want me to apologize?" Wang Zhong was so angry that he was about to laugh. Then don't blame me for being impolite. So you want to challenge me? Alright, I accept your challenge. Zhang Dongzi was stunned. When did he say that? What he meant was that he wanted to report to Dynasty. Although he was arrogant and despotic, he was actually very smart and knew his limits. Fighting with the Holy Sun was like an old man eating arsenic. He was tired of living. No, that's not what I meant. Zhang Dongzi hurriedly waved his hand. Wang Zhong waved his hand. No need to explain. You've said so much because you want to challenge me. Then let's fight. That's not what I meant. What I meant was that you should wait to receive Dynasty's wrath. What? Wrath. Understand now. You actually want a life and death battle. Wang Zhong came to a realization, and his face was full of shock. I didn't expect that you want a life and death battle with me. Fine, let's fight. After all, this is what you suggested. Zhang Dongzi was so anxious that he was about to cry. When did he say that he wanted a life and death battle? Wang Zhong walked toward him. Of course, Zhang Dongzi didn't dare to accept the challenge. He hurriedly shouted, "Wait, let me explain. I understand. Then let's fight." Wang Zhong didn't answer his question. He went forward and gave him a slap. This slap landed on his face and sent him flying. Zhang Dongzi landed on the ground again, holding his face in confusion. He finally understood that this Holy Sun did it on purpose. What challenge? What life and death battle? He just wanted to hit him. You. Zhang Dongzi wanted to say something and call the elders over to save him, but Wang Zhong didn't give him a chance to speak at all. Smack, smack, smack. What a silly husky. Wang Zhong threw a few punches, beating Zhang Dongzi until his face was bruised and swollen. What? Didn't you say you want a life and death battle? Come on, I'll kill you directly so that you won't be an eyesore anymore. How about it? Wang Zhong said coldly. Zhang Dongzi was really scared. He felt Wang Zhong's killing intent. This Holy Sun wasn't afraid of him at all. He hurriedly covered his face. Don't hit me. I won't tell Dynasty. If you kill me, you'll suffer. Smack. Another slap landed on his face. Zhang Dongzi couldn't stand up anymore. He cried and shouted, I admit defeat. Me go. I'll definitely be obedient in the future. Although he was crying so miserably, Zhang Dongzi was actually still scheming in his heart. As long as the Holy Sun let him go immediately, he would go down the mountain later and report to Dynasty. By then, Dynasty would definitely come looking for trouble. Humph, this was the price of offending him, Zhang Dongzi. Although that was what he thought in his heart, he directly knelt down in front of Wang Zhong. In order to make it look real, he cried bitterly with snot and tears. Big brother, let me go. Sob, sob, sob. Wang Zhong didn't listen at all. He directly attacked and broke Zhang Dongzi's legs. Ah! Zhang Dongzi almost fainted from the pain. However, seeing that he was about to faint, Wang Zhong threw him a life-saving pill, and he recovered immediately. Holy Sun, spare me. Let me go. Zhang Dongzi screamed and begged for mercy. No one around him sympathized with him, especially many female disciples. Most of the outer sect female disciples who didn't have high status had been harassed by him before. Now that they saw him in such a miserable state, everyone was very happy. However, there were still some disciples in the crowd who were worried. These disciples all knew Zhang Dongzi's identity and were even more aware of how terrifying Dynasty was. Within Dynasty, there were countless experts and millions of soldiers. No sect would be kind after offending Dynasty. It was fun to beat him up now, but what about later? Wang Zhong was almost done. He said to Zhang Dongzi, All right, since you've surrendered, I'll take you away. He dragged Zhang Dongzi and walked towards his mountain peak. Holy Sun. An elder frowned and came over. You. Wang Zhong said calmly. Everyone, don't worry. I, Chen Ping, will take responsibility for my own actions. Today's matter has nothing to do with green-seeking sect. If dynasty wants to pursue the matter, it's all my fault. Holy son, you were too impulsive. The elder who rushed over shook his head and sighed. Wang Zhong smiled and said, I wasn't impulsive. On the contrary, I'm very calm. This person bullied the disciples of green-seeking sect, which is the same as bullying me. I'm not afraid of such a person even if he's the king of heaven. These righteous words directly shook the hearts of all the disciples. In the past, they felt that the Holy Son was unreachable and unreachable. They only revered him. But now they all felt that the Holy Son was really good. He had both integrity and talent, and he empathized with his juniors. Such a Holy Son could not be found even if one searched with a lantern. The Holy Son. The Holy Son wants to shoulder everything alone. A disciple knelt down and cried, We can't let the Holy Son do this. He has sacrificed too much for us. Yes, the Holy Son is too foolish. It's not worth it for us. A female disciple beat her chest and stomped her feet. She wished she could die for Wang Zhong. Yao Bing was also wet at this moment. Her eyes were wet. She murmured, In the end, the Holy Son is shouldering everything alone. She was so touched that her heart was in a mess. She wished she could immediately rush over and kiss Wang Zhong to express her love for him. Wang Zhong's cultivation was very high now, and his hearing was very sensitive. Naturally, he could eavesdrop on these voices. It can't be. I'm not going to die. What's wrong with these people? He looked at Zhang Dongzi, who was in his hand, and came to a realization. He guessed that those people were afraid of the dynasty. That was why they were behaving this way. He shook his head and did not think much about it. He brought Zhang Dongzi to his mountain peak. Zhang Dongzi was still breathing. After Wang Zhong fed him a healing pill, he sat on a big rock and crossed his legs, waiting for Zhang Dongzi to wake up. Zhang Dongzi thought he was already dead. However, when he opened his eyes, he was so frightened that he almost fainted again. He saw Wang Zhong staring at him with a cold smile. Holy Son, Zhang Dongzi said, trembling. Are you feeling better? Wang Zhong asked. Zhang Dongzi nodded. He did not understand Wang Zhong's intention. It's good that you're feeling better. Wang Zhong got up, took out a knife and sharpened it on the rock. Zhang Dongzi's eyes widened. Spare me, Holy Son. Wang Zhong said, Spare you? Spare you. Anyway, you're going to report to the dynasty. Once I get rid of you, I'll be done with it. When the time comes, I'll just run away. Zhang Dongzi hurriedly said, I won't report you. Holy Son, please understand. Wang Zhong did not reply. Instead he said, Zhang Dongzi, let me ask you. Even if you report me, what will happen in the future? Wang Zhong's question made Zhang Dongzi feel a little strange. He said, In the future, your dynasty will come looking for trouble. When the time comes, I'll ask the Azure sect to resist. A war will break out between the two sides. We may fail, but one thing is certain, and that is that you will definitely die. Zhang Dongzi's expression changed drastically. He was not stupid. On the contrary, he was very smart. He immediately realized the importance of this. Yes, even if he reported him, the two sides would at most fight. However, as the instigator, he would definitely be killed by the Azure sect. Wang Zhong smiled and said, Don't think that the Azure sect will be so scared that they'll admit their mistake. Even if the Azure sect bows down, the dynasty will definitely use you to appease the Azure sect and win them over. In the end, you're just a pawn of the dynasty. When you're useful, the dynasty will protect you. When you're not, ha ha ha. You can think about it yourself. Zhang Dongzi's heart skipped a beat. He was really panicking. Yes, he was useful now. However, once the war really broke out, the Azure sect would definitely use him as an example. Then, he sucked in a breath of cold air. He did not even dare to think about it. Wang Zhong walked over and patted his shoulder earnestly. Don't die without knowing how you died. You're still young. You still have a lot of time to play. Do you understand? Although you're a pawn, do you know the value of a pawn? The value of a pawn doesn't lie in how useful it is, but in how long the game will last. When the game ends, you'll be useless. Even if you don't die, who will give you money to spend? Who will give you spirit stones to cultivate? When the time comes, do you think that people will give you face just because you bully them? Don't be stupid. Wang Zhong said a lot in a short while. Zhang Dongzi's face turned pale. Yes, the dynasty was now playing chess with the Azure sect. If the game ended, where would he go? To him, the best benefit was to keep the game going. That way he would be useful. Son of the sage. Zhang Dongzi immediately knelt down. Understand. I really understand. I was too much of a bastard before. Please give me a chance. I know what to do. All right, get up. Just listen to me in the future. As long as you listen to me, I can guarantee that even if the Azure sect and the dynasty go to war, I'll protect your head. Zhang Dongzi thanked him profusely. Thank you, son of the sage. I won't say anything else in the future. Go. Don't mention what I said to you. Yes, I will. By the way, the news from the dynasty. I'll definitely report it to you, son of the sage. Zhang Dongzi thought it through very clearly. It would be fine if they didn't go to war. Once they did, he would be a hostage. Therefore, it was important to have a good relationship with the son of the sage. Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, Well, it's fine. Let's go. Originally, after Zhang Dongzi was beaten up like this, everyone was nervous about how the dynasty would retaliate. Even the sect master, asking gods, had given the order to be on full alert and activate the mountain guarding formation. The battle was huge and made everyone anxious. However, no one expected that in the afternoon, Zhang Dongzi would come to the square and solemnly apologize to Wang Zhong. Only then did everyone know that Zhang Dongzi and Wang Zhong had buried the hatchet. Wang Zhong had given him elixirs, so he could recover his body. Not only that, the son of the sage fed Zhang Dongzi some kind of bewitching potion, making his attitude suddenly become polite and even call Wang Zhong big brother in public. In the future, the son of the sage is my big brother. Whoever makes things difficult for him is making things difficult for me. Zhang Dongzi shouted until his throat was rough. Of course, he was not worried that the dynasty would know about it when he said this. Even if they knew, he could just say that he was appeasing them and gloss over it. No one would have thought that the son of the sage easily disposed of Zhang Dongzi. From today onwards, Zhang Dongzi started to behave himself with his tail tucked between his legs. After that, Wang Zhong successively disposed of several senior brothers who were usually arrogant and despotic. His prestige reached a very high level all of a sudden. At the same time, the 100 Sect Conference was about to start. On this day, some important disciples and elders of the entire Green-seeking sect headed to the imperial city's inner city under the lead of Asking Gods. Currently, the entire imperial city was solemn. In order to prevent harassment, the streets were filled with guards wearing armor. Chapter 805. Wang Zhong and the rest entered the inner city under the lead of Asking Gods. They were arranged to stay in the palace. Along the way he met many people. They were all elites of the major sections. However, after sensing the so-called saints and saintesses of the various forces, they were too weak compared to him. I don't know how strong those so-called experts in the palace are. If they really don't hold back this time, I won't hold back either. Wang Zhong thought to himself. After staying in the inner city for a few days, he made friends with many saints and saintesses. These saints and saintesses were quite arrogant. They looked at people with their noses in the air, as if they were afraid that others would not know that they were saints and saintesses. Of course, there were fewer saints and saintesses in this group. Only the small sects would be like this. For the large sects, the saints and saintesses were elusive. It was very difficult to meet them. In the blink of an eye, it was finally the day of the 100 Sects tournament. On this day, the sects that came gathered in the inner city square. It was crowded. Wang Zhong led Asking Green's sect to the high platform. At this moment, a loud voice was heard. "The Crown Prince has arrived." As soon as the voice fell, a man in a yellow robe with thick eyebrows and big eyes walked up slowly with the help of a eunuch. Wang Zhong looked over with a serious face. The Crown Prince's aura was obviously different from the others. If the other expert's aura was the aura of an overlord, the Crown Prince's aura was strong. However, the Crown Prince's aura was soft and not very pure. He should be cultivating some kind of evil skill, Wang Zhong thought to himself. He was not going to do anything for the time being. He would wait and see. Looking straight ahead, the Crown Prince walked up to the platform where the sacrificial offering was to be made. After a series of preludes had been made, he called out, "Recently, I heard something that was very strange." Sect Lord asked the Azure sect, "Ask the gods." Asking Gods heard the question and said respectfully, "What is it, Crown Prince? I heard that you are looking for that traitor Su Lying recently." "I haven't heard of it." Asking Gods said, "How dare you say you haven't heard of it? I can tell that you are lying." The Crown Prince shouted angrily, causing the expressions of the people around him to change drastically. Many people could see that the Crown Prince wanted to use this opportunity to deal with Wenqing Zong. If this matter was not handled properly, it would lead to war. However, some people were very relieved because Asking Gods had always been low-key. They probably would not start a war. Unexpectedly, Wang Zhong walked out. "Who are you? Why are you walking out?" The Crown Prince frowned. "Holy son of Wenqing sect." As soon as he said this, everyone started whispering to each other. "Hee, since when have you been in charge of the Qing sect? I can tell at a glance that you're not the Crown Prince." At this moment Wang Zhong shouted, "What did you say? If I'm not the Crown Prince, then who am I?" Wang Zhong laughed and said, "You are the Crown Prince, but you have an evil aura all over your body. Why is the Crown Prince like this?" You're courting death." Unexpectedly at this moment, an acquaintance stood up. Wang Zhong turned his head to look and was instantly overjoyed. "Lucan, the eldest son of the Su family. Isn't this Su Can?" Wang Zhong mocked. "Chen Ping, you're just a servant of my Su family." Su Can shouted. "Oh, is that so?" Su Can sneered. He cupped his hands at the Crown Prince and said, "Crown Prince, I'll teach him a lesson for you." He was here to show his loyalty. The Crown Prince nodded coldly. The next moment Su Can charged over. Wang Zhong said, "I've been waiting for you." Then, Wang Zhong rushed in front of Su Can like a bolt of lightning and threw a palm at Su Can's chest. Bang! There was an explosion. Before Su Can could clench his fist, he was sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. Su Can was defeated. No, Su Can was directly crippled. Looking at his collapsed chest, one could imagine that even if he did not die, he would probably be crippled in the future. At this moment, the Crown Prince unexpectedly charged over. His plan was very simple, and that was to take the opportunity to kill Wang Zhong. It was obvious that he also felt that Wang Zhong's strength was not ordinary. Such a person could not be allowed to live. His idea was very good, but Wang Zhong would not let him succeed. He turned around and took the Crown Prince's palm. "Show yourself." Wang Zhong no longer concealed his aura, and it surged. The group of saints and saintesses were all shocked. This aura was so familiar. Martial Master, Martial Grand Master. Oh my God, the Azure Sect Saint is actually a Martial Grand Master. Someone in the crowd exclaimed. The Crown Prince's expression changed drastically. He wanted to go back, but it was too late. Wang Zhong appeared in front of him in an instant and easily grabbed the Crown Prince's neck. "There's an evil aura on your body." Wang Zhong frowned. Suddenly, something on the Crown Prince's body caught his attention. A phone. Wang Zhong was very surprised to see a mobile phone in this place. Where did this thing come from? Wang Zhong picked up the phone and asked. The Crown Prince gritted his teeth and said, "Why are you asking this? If you don't answer, I'll crush your neck right away." I said this thing is called a phone. How did it come from? Did you transmigrate? Wang Zhong asked. The Crown Prince's eyes flashed. Although he did not answer, Wang Zhong understood. Sure enough, you really are a transmigrator. The Crown Prince did not say anything. Instead, he gritted his teeth and said, "Since you want to play, then let's play." He made up his mind. His chest suddenly burst open, and his arms suddenly spread open. Ha ha ha. Even so, the Crown Prince was still alive. Cryptic prison rise. The originally cloudless sky was suddenly covered by dark clouds. Cold winds blew, and the sound of ghosts crying and wolves howling came from the palace. You really are not the Crown Prince. There's an evil thing in your body. Wang Zhong knew very well what the evil thing was because he had dealt with it in the game less than 21. Follow me into the palace to find the truth, Wen Ling shouted. I'm afraid everyone in the palace is dead. Wang Zhong frowned. With the appearance of the cryptic prison, he could no longer feel the breath of living people inside. You're better than me. The Crown Prince's chest was open, and a headless black figure stood beside him. This thing came out of his stomach. What's your purpose? Wang Zhong asked. I did transmigrate, but I don't know why I came here. But it doesn't matter. My evil thing needs to eat. As long as it eats something, it's enough. The Crown Prince smiled coldly. Originally, I didn't want to expose myself so quickly. Unfortunately, you forced me. Since that's the case, don't leave today. So you had this idea long ago. Wang Zhong suddenly realized. You want to take advantage of the 100 School Conference to kill everyone. You're smart. The so-called Crown Prince did not intend to hide anything at this time. Originally, I wanted to treat you all to a banquet and eat some corpse poison. Who knew to say it? But it doesn't matter. The Crown Prince waved his hand and said indifferently, Anyway, everyone here is going to die. We have so many martial masters here. Can you deal with us? Someone immediately shouted. That's right. I didn't expect the Imperial City to become like this. Today we must take revenge. Yes, we have so many martial masters. Who's afraid of who? The martial arts experts stood out. But soon they realized that something was wrong. They realized that they had no strength and fell to the ground one by one. Do you feel the taste of powerlessness? Wang Zhong said quietly. This is the poison of the evil thing. You know. The Crown Prince was surprised. Wang Zhong shrugged. I've dealt with it before. Impossible. Only my world has evil things. What's your world called? Wang Zhong asked tentatively. Then he shrugged and said, Actually, it's fine if you tell me. Anyway, I'm poisoned. Let me know before I die. Alright, it's fine to tell you. The Crown Prince obviously had the intention of stalling for time. After all, these people were not poisoned. From Earth. A transmigrator from Earth. Wang Zhong's expression changed. I guess you can say that. The Crown Prince shrugged and said indifferently. Fine, fine, fine. Why are you doing this? Of course, to become stronger and then go back to take revenge. You can go back. Of course. Earth's spirit chi is recovering now. There's a passage to the outside world. His words caused Wang Zhong to be stunned. You can go back. What do you mean? You seem to be very familiar with Earth. The Crown Prince frowned at Wang Zhong's words because he felt that Wang Zhong didn't seem to be very weak. How do I go back? Wang Zhong asked again. You don't need to know. The Crown Prince didn't want to say more. He was ready to get rid of Wang Zhong. This was because he felt that Wang Zhong's current state was somewhat dangerous. His feeling was right. In the next moment, Wang Zhong rushed over and easily grabbed his neck. If you don't tell me, I'll have to kill you. The headless body on the side turned to Wang Zhong and seemed to want to attack. However, Wang Zhong's aura rushed out and sent the headless body flying. So strong. The crown prince was stunned. Why are you immune to corpse poison? I've seen this poison in other places. I know how to deal with it, Wang Zhong said. After saying that, he was stunned because the scene in front of him was so familiar. Felt like he had experienced it before. He shook his head and felt that the so-called bizarre prison around him had become illusory. It was as if everything was not so real. Let's go. Let's go into the palace first. I want to find out everything, Wang Zhong said. There's no need to go in. I'll tell you. At this time, a familiar and graceful figure walked out from the gate in front of him. Seeing this figure, Wang Zhong was stunned and said subconsciously, Su Liying. Yes, the person in front of him was Su Liying, who had been missing for a long time. You've been hiding in the imperial city, Wang Zhong asked. Su Liying shook her head slightly. Wang Zhong, what you're experiencing now is what you've experienced. I don't understand. Wang Zhong's mind was a little confused. He felt that countless memories were swarming him. My name is Wang Zhong. I transmigrated to this world and went through many hardships. Finally, I got to where I am today. There were too many messy memories. Wang Zhong was stunned on the spot. Su Liying walked over and said, Do you remember now? In order to deal with the crown prince, many people died. Yao Bing also died. In the end, in order to deal with him, you burned your life force. You were seriously injured. At that moment, you saw the passage to other worlds. In the end, what did you comprehend? By going to other worlds, you comprehended cultivation and life. Su Liying said a lot at once. The others were gone. Yao Bing questioned spirit, and the others gradually faded away. They were nothing more than this world, created by Su Liying through the strands of their souls. Now that their task was completed, they all disappeared. Now, only Su Liying and Yi Fian were still standing. Yi Fian sighed. Senior brother, why aren't you talking? There are too many memories. He's digesting them. I hope it's useful for him, Su Liying said. Wang Zhong did remember. The real him was an ordinary person on Earth who accidentally transmigrated to this high-level plane. He was indeed from the Su family. Everything that happened in this world was the same as before. There might be some differences but not much. However, in his previous experience, he and Su Liying had already pledged their lives to each other. At that time, Su Liying told him that she went to the Heavenly Mountain sect first, and then what happened to the Su family. Wang Zhong relied on his unstoppable cultivation method, and in order to find Su Liying, he killed his way out of the dungeon and went here. However, he learned that the Heavenly Mountain sect had been destroyed. By accident, Wang Zhong entered the Green Seeking sect. Because of his good talent, he was favored all the way and became the Holy Sun. The overall development was about the same. However, the Crown Prince's conspiracy appeared. The Crown Prince did transmigrate. After the spiritual energy on Earth recovered, he cultivated the evil thing in his body and devoured the people in the palace. At that time, the Crown Prince was extremely powerful. Countless cultivators died in his hands. At that time, Wang Zhong made a move. In order to deal with the Crown Prince, he burned his life. Although he won in the end, the entire city was destroyed. Only Yi Fian and Zhao Liying were left. After that, Wang Zhong returned to the sect. In order to heal his injuries and reverse time to save people, he kept studying magic. At that time, Wang Zhong found that as long as he comprehended life, it would be of great benefit to his cultivation. So, he entered one world after another. But soon he discovered a very important point. If he entered these worlds and had his previous memories, the effect on comprehending life was very weak. So he sealed his memories. Then he asked Su Liying and Yi Fian to send him into those worlds. Those worlds were indeed real. That was why Wang Zhong met people who had transmigrated. As for why he met acquaintances like Yao Bing, it was actually very simple. Every world was actually connected. Every time he went to that world, Su Liying would investigate it. In the end, he found that the acquaintances who appeared were all reincarnated. Wang Zhong understood everything. So, the people I met were all real. Those people were reincarnated. That's right. I didn't disturb them. Instead, I teleported you to their vicinity and used some small means to let you meet them. Su Liying continued. By the way, Yao Bing is your second wife. Chapter 806. By the way, Yao Bing is your second wife, but in that battle. At this point, Su Liying sighed. Wang Zhong had actually died in that battle. As the holy son of Wenqing sect, his combat power had already reached the martial grandmaster level, and he was invincible. Even the sect leader, asking gods, was not as powerful as him. At that time, Wang Zhong was not as low-key as he was now. When he had transmigrated, he was not as shrewd as he was now. After he became the holy son of Wenqing sect, he focused on cultivation and would deal with injustice whenever he encountered it. He and Yao Bing met at that time. When Yao Bing was bullied, he stood up for her. Just like in this life, Wang Zhong put Yao Bing in charge of external affairs and the two of them hooked up. Previously, Yi Fian and Yao Bing did not seem to get along because Yi Fian was also pursuing the holy son. When she saw Yao Bing and Wang Zhong walking together, she was jealous. Once he started eating, he ate for many years. It was only when the crown prince used the sly prison to kill everyone that the two women buried the hatchet. At that time, Wang Zhong was the strongest fighter in Wenqing sect and even the entire region. The fake crown prince used the sly prison to deal with Wang Zhong. In the sly prison, Wang Zhong was almost killed. In the end, Yao Bing blocked the fatal blow in order to save Wang Zhong. At that time Wang Zhong cried and shouted, "Yao Bing!" It was also at that moment that Yi Fian cried. When Wang Zhong was dealing with the fake crown prince, Yi Fian supported Yao Bing. Even now, Yi Fian still remembered the scene before Yao Bing died. "Senior sister, thank you. Actually, I know you like the holy son. I'm sorry for going against you in the past." Yao Bing's chest was broken and her clothes were soaked with blood. Especially her right arm, which had been cut off completely. She was in a terrible state and looked like she was about to die. What was even more despairing was that in the sly prison, all elixirs lost their effects. There was no spiritual energy here, only endless evil energy. Fighting in the sly prison was already restraining for cultivators. Therefore, even though Yi Fian had fed Yao Bing a life-saving pill and a healing pill, it was still useless. She could only watch helplessly as Yao Bing gradually fell to the ground. In the end, there was no more sound. Enraged, Wang Zhong burned his life force and fought his way out of the crafty prison. The evil being that had released the deceitful prison was thus destroyed. The fake crown prince's head was separated from his body by Wang Zhong's sword. At this moment Wang Zhong was clear. Wang Zhong looked around. This was not the imperial capital, but the main peak of the Qingwen sect. "I've experienced many lifetimes." Wang Zhong began to walk forward. At this moment, he looked like an old man who could be blown away by the wind at any time. On the other hand, Yi Fian and Su Liying were so young. This was because he had burned his life force at the last moment of that battle. Wang Zhong walked forward. As he walked, he opened his memories. That's right, the so-called rebirth system was a cultivation method that he had set up himself. At the start of the game, he sealed his memories and went to Yellow Earth. After he was born, his parents were killed, and he became a legendary assassin by accident. After that, he took revenge and fell ill with Lou Gehrig's disease. After falling ill, he chose to enter the prison. However, he did not move at all. Yi Fian and Su Liying, who had been observing Wang Zhong, saw this and became anxious. So they called out the rebirth technique again and used the system situation to let Wang Zhong start other lives again. This was the whole story of what had happened. Of course, why did Wang Zhong still have bits and pieces about Earth in his memories? Because that memory was hidden deep and was not sealed. The experience on Earth was the experience of his first life. Wang Zhong began to recall the experience of each life. He walked forward. With every step he took, his face looked younger. With every step he took, he looked even younger. When he recalled being happy, a smile appeared on his face. When he recalled the sad memories, his face was filled with sorrow. Then he stopped and let out a long sigh. After resting for a while, Wang Zhong continued to walk. As he walked, his face began to become younger and younger. At the same time, the aura on his body also rose rapidly. The reason for this was that his strength had become stronger. As his strength became stronger, his appearance also became younger. In the end, Wang Zhong gradually returned to his previous appearance. His strength also surpassed that of a martial grandmaster and reached an unfathomable level. The cultivation method of rebirth is really good, Wang Zhong said lightly. Now everything was clear. However, there was one more important thing. That was Earth. Back then, the fake crown prince said before he died that the spirit chi on Earth had recovered and demons and ghosts were rampant. That was why he could come to this world through the crack. All of this was because of the recovery of spirit chi on Earth. Although there was no cultivation power there, the evil creatures were also very powerful. Wang Zhong quietly pondered as he recalled the bits and pieces that had happened. He stood there for an entire day. Hey, why isn't senior brother moving? Yi Fian was puzzled. Su Liying also expressed that she was not sure. The two girls walked over to take a look and almost died of anger. They did not know when Wang Zhong had fallen asleep. Wang Zhong. Su Liying was speechless. Wang Zhong opened his eyes and yawned. Hey, I actually fell asleep. Have you eaten? You fell asleep while standing. Aha, I was thinking about something just now and got too engrossed in it. I didn't expect to fall asleep. Wang Zhong smiled embarrassedly. The recovered Wang Zhong's personality was still the same as before, but he was much more mature. Senior brother, what are you going to do next? Yi Fian asked. Wang Zhong said, of course, the next step is to return to Earth. There is a reason for the recovery of spirit chi in every place. Have to find out. Yi Fian nodded slightly. You're going there? Yes, I'm very familiar with Earth. Actually, when you entered the game of life, Fian and I also observed Earth. It's different from the other places you've been to. That plane is very low, and our strength will be suppressed there. So if you go there, I'm afraid you'll be suppressed even more. Su Liying reminded. Wang Zhong smiled and said, you guys forgot that we have a way to reincarnate. Wang Zhong continued, actually, I've thought about it. I'll enter that place through possession and restart my life. With that, Wang Zhong let out a long sigh. This might be his last reincarnation. But before that, I need to return to the previous world and take care of things. All right then. Yi Fian nodded. Well, let's eat first. I'm hungry. Wang Zhong changed the topic and said with a smile. Although they could not eat much after becoming immortal cultivators, they were not used to not eating suddenly. Therefore, many immortal cultivators still maintained the good habit of eating after becoming immortal cultivators. After eating, Wang Zhong left the sect master's peak and wandered outside. Many people had died in the battle in the crafty prison. More than half of the people in the Asking Azure sect died. Many people had fallen. In order to protect everyone, the sect master, Asking Gods, even took out his life treasure to resist the attack of the sly prison. After that, fortunately, Wang Zhong stepped in and saved everyone. Even so, Wen Ling's natal magic treasure had already been shattered. His cultivation had dropped from martial grand master to martial master, and he had aged over 100 years. Now Wang Zhong was actually the sect master here. However, Wang Zhong was grateful and let Asking Gods take charge of the sect's affairs. At this time, Asking Gods was preaching in the square. The number of disciples was much less than before. Wang Zhong stood under a tree not far away and let out a long sigh. Back when he was a saint, everything that had happened had been too real. Cute Yao Bing, cute junior brothers and sisters. However, many of his acquaintances were gone. They had all died in that battle. The saint is here. Someone saw Wang Zhong coming and shouted in surprise. In an instant, everyone turned their heads to look at him. Then they all revealed excited expressions. The saint is here. He's the saint. He's really handsome. The female disciples who had never seen Wang Zhong but had heard of his name were excited and wanted to pounce on him immediately. There were also male disciples who found it strange. That's strange. Didn't the saint become very old? Yes, rumor has it that the saint burned his own life to deal with that evil thing. He's already like an old man, but now it seems that he's even younger than us. Humph, don't you know? For immortal cultivators, no matter how old they are, as long as they advance, their lifespan will increase by a lot. Especially for someone with such a high cultivation level like the saint. His lifespan will increase by a lot, so it's normal. The saint must have advanced. That makes sense. Many people's eyes lit up. The saint had advanced again. This was definitely good news. After all, to them, the saint's reputation was like the sun in the sky. Not only had he become their idol, but he had also become the idol of many sects in the outside world. Therefore, after knowing that Wang Zhong had advanced, these people were extremely excited. The heavens have opened their eyes. The saint has advanced and his lifespan has increased by a lot. This is great. Plop! Someone collapsed on the ground and cried. Saint, I'm so happy. I've decided to add more dishes today. I want to get drunk. A female disciple shouted happily. Let's do it together. Me too, me too. Seeing the disciples' behavior, Wang Zhong was surprised. He did not expect to be so popular. Saint! Elder Zhao Keiming walked over and said, You've recovered? As a high-level elder, he naturally knew that Wang Zhong was cultivating using the method of rebirth. This cultivation method was very unique and seemed to be a cultivation method to understand life. Only a person with amazing talent like the saint could cultivate like this. If it was someone like them, they would definitely not be able to learn it. Yes, I've recovered. Wang Zhong nodded his head. After entering so many lives, he had spent many years doing so. Now that he saw Zhao Keiming again, he found that he had aged quite a bit. Good. God bless our inquiring Azure sect. Zhao Keiming laughed excitedly and pointed behind him. Saint, why don't you preach a few words to us while you've just recovered? Course that's not a problem. Wang Zhong walked to the front, and some disciples quickly made way for him. At this time, Asking God also stood up. Wang Zhong came in front of him and said respectfully, Master. Although Asking God's strength had dropped, Wang Zhong still respected him. This old man, in order to save people, damaged all his natal Dharma artifacts and dropped his cultivation level. He was very helpless. One had to know that he had the chance to escape by himself, but he did not do so. Well, you tell them. The disciples like you very much now, Asking God said. Okay. Wang Zhong did not talk nonsense. He sat on a futon and began to talk. What is Tao? Wang Zhong spoke. His voice was infused with spirit qi. His voice rolled out so that everyone could hear it. Hearing that, everyone on the scene showed a thoughtful look. Yes, what is Tao? Wang Zhong began to talk. Tao is heaven, Tao is earth, Tao is all things, Tao is all people. This time Wang Zhong talked for a long time. What he said was all about his experiences and insights from his previous lives. Those experiences were all real. He had entered the bodies of some pregnant women through the method of rebirth. After that, his soul experienced another lifetime, and another lifetime, and another lifetime. It was already late at night when he finished talking. Until Wang Zhong left, everyone still looked as if they had not had enough, which was intoxicating. It would be great if he could talk for a while more, someone sighed. Yes, be content. The saint has been very good to us. After all, he has just recovered from his injury. That's true. Everyone nodded and gradually dispersed. The news of Wang Zhong's recovery spread quickly. Everyone outside knew about it. Therefore, the next day, countless sects came to visit Wang Zhong. On the one hand, they wanted to thank Wang Zhong for killing the evil creatures, saving the people, and even saving them. On the other hand, as long as one had a little brain, they knew that Wang Zhong was now very powerful and would definitely be an overlord here in the future. If they did not please him now, when would they go? The sect leader of the Rongtian sect is here to send gifts to the saint. The sect leader of the 1,000-mile sect is here to send gifts to the saint. The sect leader of the housegirl sect is here to send gifts to the saint. Regardless of whether they had grudges with each other or not, all of them had come over in the past few days. In order to show their sincerity, these people brought countless gifts. They were so happy that the elders of the Qingqing sect could not close their mouths. However, no matter how happy they were, they all understood that all this was brought about by Wang Zhong. A month later, Wang Zhong had almost recovered. I should go back and take a look. On this day, Wang Zhong, Yi Fian, and Su Liying said goodbye and prepared to return to the small world of spiritual energy on planet Yellow Earth. When will you be back? When I'm done with my business, I will go to Earth then. Then hurry up. Wang Zhong activated the rebirth technique and closed his eyes. His whole body seemed to have entered the void. A white light flashed, and this time, he returned to the ancient battlefield in the small world of spiritual energy. Chapter 807. I'm back again. Looking at the ancient battlefield in front of him, familiar memories flooded his mind. This place was indeed very dangerous. Previously, when he came here, Yi Fian and Su Liying were worried that something would happen to him, so they specially came to guard him. Strictly speaking, the small world of spiritual energy was originally not inferior to the cultivation world of Qingqing sect. However, because of the tragic war that happened in this ancient battlefield, everything changed. The spiritual energy in the small world of spiritual energy began to thin, and everyone's realm dropped. In addition, many experts fell in that war, and there was a gap in the cultivation path here. Alright, let me see the secret of the ancient battlefield. What's going on inside? Wang Zhong walked forward. After recovering his memories, he was even stronger. Spiritual energy surged in his every movement. He took out the limitless sword and slashed out horizontally. The demons and ghosts that rushed towards him all dissipated, turning into dust. Then, with a thought, a huge amount of spiritual energy spread out. Wang Zhong sensed everything around him and finally found something wrong. In front of him, there was a blocked smell of spiritual energy. It was very troublesome. It could be seen that there was definitely a huge invisible force shrouding that place. Wang Zhong continued forward. Along the way, he encountered more and more powerful things. There were many that he had never seen before. There was a giant that was as tall as the Hulk, slashing at him with a huge sword. I didn't expect the immortal cultivators of the ancient battlefield to be so strong. Looking at the huge sword that slashed down, Wang Zhong could not help but sigh. He understood that these creatures were all dead in the past. After they died, they turned into vengeful spirits. In other words, they were real in the past, and not imaginary. However, how could such an expert fall? This was something that made one ponder. Although this giant was definitely an expert among experts when he was alive and was very powerful, he was already dead. Therefore, Wang Zhong effortlessly received this attack. Then, the limitless sword swept over and the giant turned into dust. That's right, it was a simple sweep. In the face of such formidable power, any random cultivation method would be useless. To deal with these evil spirits, directly crushing them with powerful strength was the fastest way. Chop, chop, chop. It was as if Wang Zhong had entered an unstoppable realm. The sword flowers from the limitless sword in his hand fell like rain, spreading out in all directions. Some of the evil spirits that wanted to approach were unable to withstand these attacks and were defeated one after another. In the end, these evil spirits did not dare to approach. This was not to say that these evil spirits were intelligent, so they did not dare to approach. Instead, it was because Wang Zhong's power made these evil spirits feel fear. But even so, the further in they went, the stronger the evil spirits became. In the end, Wang Zhong finally realized that something was wrong. These evil spirits didn't seem to be here purely to kill him. They had another goal, which was to stop him from entering. What secrets does this primordial battlefield hold? Wang Zhong couldn't help but quicken his pace. The sky gradually darkened, and a chilly wind blew. The internal spiritual energy began to become viscous. Wang Zhong was sure that if he cultivated in this place, his strength would definitely skyrocket. No wonder the spiritual energy in the entire spirit chi small world has become thin. It turns out that all the spiritual energy is gathered in this place. Wang Zhong finally understood the root cause, but he did not understand why such a situation would occur. Was it man-made interference? Or was it really because of the war? He could not figure it out, but he believed that there would definitely be an answer inside. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With a flash, Wang Zhong had already gone quite a distance inside. In front of him was no longer a thick and foggy spiritual energy range. Instead, it was replaced by a black hole. That's right, it was like a black hole in the universe. It stood there alone, quietly and indifferently. Vaguely, Wang Zhong also felt a suction force coming from inside. Perhaps, this is the secret of the spirit chi small world. Wang Zhong secretly guessed. Now everything was clear. There was definitely something wrong with this black hole. However, he would definitely not be at ease if he entered rashly. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong formed a hand seal and summoned an ordinary magic sword from his space ring. After injecting a trace of his spiritual energy, he threw the magic sword into the black hole. The magic sword quickly escaped into the black hole, and to Wang Zhong's surprise, there was no resistance at all. This is not bad. Wang Zhong smiled. He had thought that this black hole would be terrifying, but now it seemed that it was just a... After the magic sword entered the black hole, it did not encounter any danger. After sensing it, there was no terrifying aura there. Since that was the case, he could consider going in and taking a look. After retrieving the magic sword, Wang Zhong rushed in with the limitless sword. This black hole was like a door. There was no resistance, and Wang Zhong walked in directly. Darkness. In front of him was a dark place. There was no sun, no moon, and even no air. Dead stars. Wang Zhong saw it at a glance. Previously, in his StarCraft life, he drove a battleship past many dead stars. The dead stars were like this, without any life. However, what was suspicious was that the dead stars here were very thoroughly dead. Not only was the soil dirty, but even the air had a rotten smell. People must have lived in this place before, but why did it become like this? Wang Zhong opened the fire talisman that he carried with him. After igniting the fire talisman, a ball of fire floated in front of him. With the fire, he began to walk around this dead star. Soon he arrived in front of a bare tree trunk. This used to be a forest. Wang Zhong continued to fly through the forest and soon arrived in front of a ruin. It was easy to see that this used to be a residential area. Looking at the shape, it was a European-style building, an ancient European-style building. What surprised Wang Zhong was that in front of a huge square, there were piles of white bones. Countless skulls and rotten bones were casually piled up on the ground. From the looks of it, it was piled up like a mountain. I really don't know what happened in the past. So many people died. Wang Zhong was very surprised. He felt that this world had experienced a lot. He came to some corpses and glanced at them. Suddenly his gaze froze. These corpses did not have any traces of being attacked, but the same thing happened. The bones of the corpses were all black. Corpse poison. Wang Zhong saw it. The bones in the entire field were black. This meant that an evil creature had killed its way here and used the people here as nourishment to absorb their energy. All of a sudden, Wang Zhong understood the reason behind this. He thought of the fake crown prince in the world of Wenqing sect. Didn't he have an evil creature in his body? The evil creature in his body was a headless man, a ferocious evil spirit that strengthened itself by devouring living people. The headless man's ability was to release a strange prison. In the strange prison, everyone's abilities were suppressed. This was not the power of the immortal cultivation world, but from an unknown world. The evil spirits in this world were very powerful, much stronger than the evil creatures in the world that did not live past 21 years old. That was because the evil spirits there all had abilities. He recalled what the fake crown prince had said under his interrogation before he died. The evil spirits there had all kinds of abilities. Code name Half-Man. An evil spirit with a terror index of 2 stars could secretly go behind a person and harvest their organs. Code name Woman Looking for Children. An evil spirit with a terror index of 3 stars was a woman who was looking for children all the time. She looked very pitiful, but she was also very terrifying. She would ask everyone she met about the whereabouts of her children. Once questioned, the person's movements would be restricted and they would be in a stiff state. If you said that you did not see them, the woman looking for the children would be very angry and rush over to strangle you. If you said that you saw the children, it would be useless, because the woman looking for the children would ask where the children were. If you could not answer, she would still be very angry and beat you to death. Strictly speaking, these two were not too terrifying because at least there was a pattern to follow. Even if a group of people encountered them, at most 1 or 2 would die. But there was something even more terrifying. Code name Young Lady Calling. Terror index of 5 stars. She was a very terrifying evil spirit. She would call a group to find her prey. The person who answered her call would die. Code name Butcher. Terror index of 8 stars. The butcher's skill was the same as the headless man released by the fake crown prince. They could both release Crafty Prison. Crafty Prison was the strongest skill used by evil spirits. The Crafty Prison was actually a space created by the evil spirits themselves. In the space, they could not replenish their power. The evil spirits could take people's lives at any time and anywhere. They were very difficult to deal with. This place must have been attacked by evil spirits as well. That's why it became like this. Wang Zhong sighed. The reason why Qing Zong's world was able to survive was because of him. Otherwise, the many experts in the Crafty Prison would have been wiped out. When the fake crown prince gained a foothold, it would be time to kill everyone. And in that small world of spiritual energy, the evil spirits of this world obviously wanted to go there because of the black hole. Fortunately, the many experts in the small world of spiritual energy turned the tide and repelled the evil spirits. But the black hole could not be closed. So the experts there thought of this method and created the ancient battlefield. After countless heroes were killed by the evil spirits, their souls were left in the ancient battlefield to guard it and prevent anyone from approaching. Unfortunately, the people who knew this secret were all dead. Therefore, the people on the outside all thought that this was a training ground. That was all the secrets of this ancient battlefield. No wonder it felt familiar the first time I came here. It's because this place is very similar to the Crafty Prison. The dead people were all bound here by the Crafty Prison. Looking at the black hole in front of him, due to the suction force of the black hole, the small world of spiritual energy was sucked over, causing the small world of spiritual energy to be thin. Wang Zhong took out 7 flying swords and threw them into the black hole. After that, he silently chanted an incantation. Explode! After a soft shout, the world behind the black hole exploded. The huge energy gradually distorted the space-time of the black hole and finally dissipated. The black hole disappeared. After all, the explosion caused by 7 magic artifacts was very powerful. The huge explosion attracted the attention of many cultivators. What happened in front? Why is there such a commotion? Some people were shocked. Let's go and take a look. No, there are too many evil spirits in front. We're no match for them. Damn it, there must be a natural treasure. Why would it appear in the depths? Sigh, looks like we're not fated. Some people beat their chests and stamp their feet in anger. Meanwhile, the culprit, Wang Zhong, had already left. He did not clean up the crafty prison here. After all, he felt that this ancient battlefield was quite good. It was not a bad choice to let the people of this world come here to train. It's time to meet an acquaintance. Wang Zhong's figure flashed. He walked very quickly on the road. Even when he passed many cultivators here, some of them did not notice him. In the periphery, Zhao Meng was sitting by the small lake with her chin resting on her hand. She had been waiting here for Wang Zhong for a long time. Unfortunately, after waiting for a long time, she still did not see Wang Zhong come out. Until a huge explosion just now attracted her attention. She had a hunch that this explosion was very likely related to Wang Zhong. Big brother Wang. Is he all right? As she thought about it, she actually burst into tears. Boo! Big brother Wang, you died so miserably. Plop! Zhao Meng directly knelt on the ground. I should have tried my best to stop you. I shouldn't have let you go in. Great, now it's too late. It's all too late. Zhao Meng beat her chest and stamped her feet in grief. However, it was too late. She could only cry and say, "Every year on this day, I will burn paper money for you. Stay down there and don't be disobedient in the future." Sigh. Is this woman crazy? She hasn't even seen my corpse and she's already crying like this. Wang Zhong had been standing behind Zhao Meng for a while. Seeing Zhao Meng like this, he felt like he was in a mess. Cough, cough, cough. He could not listen to it anymore and coughed a few times to remind Zhao Meng. Zhao Meng heard a familiar voice and hurriedly turned her head. She was immediately overjoyed. Big brother Wang. Big brother Wang, you're not dead. Haha, I knew you were fine. You're so powerful. Zhao Meng was as happy as a little girl. She jumped into Wang Zhong's arms and was extremely happy. Cough, cough. Pay attention to your status. You're a girl, Wang Zhong said helplessly. After being in contact with Wang Zhong for the past few days, Zhao Meng felt very close to him. Therefore, it did not matter if she did this kind of action. She said happily, "I'm fine. Don't say anything. I'm willing." After saying that, she hugged Wang Zhong's arm and was unwilling to let go. This. Wang Zhong shook his head and sighed. Then let's go. Only then did the two of them leave. On the way, Wang Zhong said, "Zhao Meng, I might have to go back. Are you going out?" Hearing this, Zhao Meng sighed. There was a hint of reluctance in her eyes. "Then when can I see you again?" Wang Zhong smiled. "Cultivate well. It'll appear." "All right then." Zhao Meng lowered her head. Suddenly, she tiptoed and kissed Wang Zhong's face. "Zhao Meng, are you serious?" Wang Zhong covered his face in shock. "No, I have to kiss you back." That you're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.